Hello, everyone! Welcome to another Blind Watch Party. It is I, Captain Logan, and joining me tonight is my son, Jayson.
That's me.
And look who it is, it's Dan Torrey.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome, Dan.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm looking forward to watching some X-Men. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, well, don't get too excited. I wish we were having you on for like really good X-Men. Yeah. Unfortunately, we decided to watch the last 5 episodes of the series when it has no budget and they farmed it out to a different studio. They changed all the character models and they made it really simplistic and look like everything else on cartoons right then.
I'm very excited.
Everyone's so excited.
This is the only stuff I haven't seen from X-Men, so I'm excited to see what it looks like.
Me too, because we were talking a little bit before we started the stream. I used to watch the show when it aired, like when I was a kid, and I haven't went back to it in many years. Like I haven't watched through all of the series in succession. I probably haven't rewatched it since watching it at that time, to be honest. So I wasn't even aware there was an animation change. I was surprised to hear that, and I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like.
Well, I think a lot of people don't know that because a lot of people didn't go that far. Because it was kind of over, and then they just tacked on 10 more episodes.
Right.
It has that sort of in common with the first season of Power Rangers, when you've got the back 20. Except with that, they did 20 more.
Yeah, with this they did like 10. 10?
So they had 10. So they have this big epic finale with Apocalypse, and it's awesome. It's like this reunion, like who's who of the series, where they bring back everybody, and they have all these fun character reveals. Where it's like, oh god, and now Magneto is here, and now Mystique is here, and wait, Mr. Sinister is working with Apocalypse. What's that about? And it's a lot of fun, and it's it's kind of gimmicky, but it works in that world. And then they have Bishop just stuck in a purgatory out of time for 4 straight episodes.
Very annoying janitor, man.
Yeah, with the most annoying like Robin Williams sound-alike you've ever heard.
Yes.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Really?
But
that
great.
Sounds incredible, though. I want to hear a discount Robin Williams.
I shouldn't say he's trying to do a Robin Williams, but you can tell he wishes that's who he was, and that's happening because of the genie and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. You know who it should have been? It should have been just Gilbert Gottfried again.
Yeah,
that would have been amazing.
Who did Mixelplick in the Superman show? It should have been that, because he's like the imp type character.
Absolutely.
I wish that's what we were watching tonight, that 4-parter, but it's not, because X-Men 97 has been advertising its show with the last scene from this series a lot, playing it like they're going to be that's going to take place kind of immediately after, or that I assume it's real shortly after, but that they're kind of just picking up where it left off, which is ironic because it's a show that didn't get canceled. It ended, and then they ordered more episodes, and now we're like,
yeah.
We've got to bring it back, because it was super popular, and because people have nostalgia for that, and because they're banking that it will sell. And honestly, I was saying this to Dan before we started too. The hype has been real for this, and it's been a bigger deal than I thought it would be. And I'm kind of curious to see how the numbers go and if people watch past the first episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be interested to see like if it delivers, something that is going to excite people that are fans of the show. Like, will it be on the same level of quality as the old show? Because, as much as I do enjoy the old show, I think there are a lot of things that could be improved about it. I think they could make a better show, like continuing on from the one before, and they could also make something worse, potentially too. So, I mean, Disney Plus for me personally doesn't have the greatest track record, so I'm like a little cynical, and the hype isn't like, totally there for me, but I'm hoping to be, pleasantly surprised. I hope I hear from people that it's a good show and worth watching.
But they also need to know what they're making and know what they're going off of, and know that the 90s show was ironically funny, and
yes.
They need to try to keep that if all possible. because that's why
And
that
that's
show's
But you
good.
got to be careful too. That's such a balancing act, right?
Right.
Because if it's too self-aware about that stuff, it's awful.
Right.
But the trailer at least looks like it might have found that balance and knows what it's doing with that. I'm not like I'm much more excited after seeing that trailer. I'm not a big fan of the art style, or I should say, like the character models are fine. It's just the animation. It's just the digital, same thing
Yeah,
everybody's doing right now with 2D. It looks a little lazy.
I agree. The animation was a little weird to me, and also like the guy who voices Wolverine specifically just doesn't sound like Wolverine anymore.
At
Like he,
all?
like
At
it's just
all?
very strange. Yeah, so I guess we'll see how that is.
Well, and what's amazing about that is that a couple of actors, I've talked about this on the Captain Logan show, but a couple of actors died, and their
Oh
sound-alikes
no.
sound almost perfect. And then they bring back the guy who plays Wolverine, and he doesn't sound anything like he used to.
Yeah.
And wasn't he like the only person who kept voicing Wolverine and things?
No, no, there have been others, but he's come back here and there.
Yeah, for like video games and stuff.
No, yeah, I think the guy you're thinking of, Jason, is actually an actor named Jason Blum. He was a voice actor. I forget when he first played Wolverine, but he was in like the X-Men Origins video game. He was in Wolverine and the X-Men, and like all the video game appearances around that time. And
I
like
didn't know his name.
it's either Jason or Steve. No, Jason Blum, I think, is the movie producer. Steve Blum, I think.
I was gonna say, is
the
it
guy's
another
name.
guy named Jason Blum? It's like,
No,
so Jason
yes.
Blum voiced Wolverine in video games, and
That
then
would
he
be
started
amazing.
his own production company called Blumhouse.
No, yes, it's called Steve. His name is Steve. My mistake. But that would be hilarious.
And then we got Steve House.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, before we get into this, I want to do a couple of things. Dan, first of all, would you tell everybody a little bit about the comic series that you're working on?
Yes.
Dan's got a Kickstarter for his second issue that ended this month?
Yeah, it ends on the 31st of March. Yeah,
I've
so
got a link in the description for that, and you can get both issues through there if you haven't bought the first one. But Dan, go ahead and tell us about that if you would.
yeah, so this is the standard cover we have of the second issue. It's done by the interior artist that I've been working with, Rodrigo Magella. He's a really talented guy. I can show you guys some of the interior art. This is one of my favorite scenes, actually. It's like our protagonist riding up to like this American Dracula-esque mansion, if you will, in the hills outside of the town he lives in, Pennsylvania. So this is a horror historical fiction series. The first story takes place in like the mid 1800s, before the oil industry has kind of developed in the United States. And there's this guy named Edwin Drake, who's actually a real person, but it's historical fiction, so I dramatize it a little bit. In the first issue, he makes a deal with Sergeant Spangle, this fella here. He's a dark spirit from realms beyond, and he trades basically the enlistment of his soul in a cosmic interdimensional war that Sergeant Spangle is kind of a recruiter for, in exchange for the knowledge of how to drill and harvest oil. He's like the first person in the history of humanity to make oil a resource that's harvestable, and creates kind of the modern oil industry as we know it. So the first issue kind of ended with that deal happening. He gets a job offer from the guy who runs Pennsylvania Rock Oil Company. Him and his wife relocate there. Suddenly, we pick up 3 months later. At the beginning of the second issue, him and his wife are kind of riding high. They're rich and kind of famous within their community. And we kind of followed their life as they're enjoying their newfound wealth and luxury. But all the time in the background, Sergeant Spangle and the people he's kind of allied with are scheming in the background to achieve their own ends. So the question is, will Edwin Drake be able to sustain this life that he sold his soul in order to achieve? Or will the darkness consume him? And this is the second part of a 4-part arc that we have planned. I'm already working on issue 3. So if you'd like to, see where the story goes, just click on the Kickstarter in the description and check it out. I think we've made something really cool. I love kind of playing with melding horror and historical fiction together. It's kind of like a fun writing exercise for me. They're two of my favorite genres. So yeah, it's been a great time. The series will be kind of an anthology series. After this story is over, I'll do another series set in a different time period with different characters. But the objective was kind of to be like a horror slash EC Comics Twilight Zone for American history. So that's what I got for you. I hope you guys enjoy.
That's cool. Thanks, man. And I assume you're going to keep the numbering when you get into more arcs, right? Or are you going to do the more like miniseries?
I plan to do them, as continuing the numbering. I personally am like an old school comics guy where like I want to, get up to issue 50 or 100 or whatever, years from now if I can. So yeah, I'm in like Todd McFarlane, mindset. I'm like, I will have the longest running comic book.
Sure, just being anthology, I could have seen it going either way, so that's why I was asking.
Yeah, no, exactly. Honestly, the Kickstarter has been a little slower this time because it's not a #1 issue, it's a #2. So I kind of like understand, the comic industry, why they reboot things at #1 all the time, because there's just much more excitement at the beginning of a #1 story kind of thing. So I'll see where it goes, depending on what makes sense economically for the series. But I'm really hoping we can continue and get this one funded. So if you guys are interested, please consider, supporting it and checking it out. We would both really appreciate it, Rodrigo and I. We've developed a pretty close working relationship now, and I think the second issue is kind of like us working really well together. The first issue was us kind of, trying each other out, matching each other up. And this time I think we've kind of like put our styles together and made something that sings. So hopefully you guys check it out.
It's great. Yeah, he's got a great pulp but real detailed kind of style. I really like the design for the Star Spangled character for the skeleton guy.
Yeah.
Given that you're that it's kind of a deal with the devil story, the first thing I thought was, oh, maybe you're the guy getting into oil will like himself eventually have a skeleton head like that. That was that was the first thing I thought was like, wow, this is so Spawn or Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but I think you have some good intuition there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. So I have the ending of this. I have the final scene of the story like kind of written. So yeah, it ends in something like that, as you'll see. Because when you make a deal with the devil, it's like the Faust thing. Like there's always fine print that the person doesn't pay attention to that ends up like destroying their life, even though they got what they really wished for.
Yeah, you got to end up with a skull head, or at least like glowing red eyes, or
exactly.
a flaming head, or a charred face, or you're only able to turn into a white person when you were a black person.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Something like that. There's got to
Exactly.
be it's important to have a trade-off, actions
Exactly.
and consequences.
Yeah. So this was the standard cover. I showed this one already, and then we have two variant covers. One is actually by Ty, one of our mutual friends, Cap. He did homage to the Doors album cover Morrison Hotel for me.
Yeah, I saw that. That's cool.
That's awesome.
I really like this one. Paradiso is the name of the mansion that I showed in the kind of two-page spread earlier that the owner of the Pennsylvania Rock Oil Company lives in. And then we have, I like to call this one the Opportunity is Knocking variant cover. There's a prominent door knocker in one of the scenes, and this is by Craig Holland. He's one of my friends. I've actually known him since high school, and I gave him the script, and I was like, try to figure out a cover idea, and this is what he came up with. And we wanted to do like kind of an old school, dialogue on the cover kind of thing, like they would do in the old DC, Marvel, and like EC Comics covers.
Yeah.
So we've been having a lot of fun like putting this stuff together, and I learn so much every time I put one of these projects together. Comics are my favorite medium to tell stories in, and just like I appreciate them on a whole other level, like actually getting into the weeds and creating them myself. It's really fun.
Between you and I, Dan, I don't know how Ty has time to do anything.
Yeah, I know. He's a workhorse, that guy.
Yeah, because you've got him doing covers for you. He's doing some stuff for my movie, and like I don't know. I feel bad. Like the man can't have any time for anything.
No, but I can tell he loves it. Like every time I
Yeah.
talk to him about working on a cover, like he gets super excited. And I'm working on a Western right now that I want to do as like a graphic novel instead of doing it in like individual issues. And he was like, anything that I can do for that, I'd love to be involved in some way because that's the part of the country that he's from, and he was really excited about it. So
Yeah.
he's a pleasure to work with. I love Ty.
Yeah, and he did the teaser poster for the Rewind movie, which is actually setting the tone for the whole movie. Like, once I had that image, I knew what the movie was.
Yeah, no, that the art really inspires you like that. Oh, speaking of which, I do want to show this off. I forgot. This is one of the Kickstarter rewards we have. This is actually one of the like artistic things that I'm the most proud of that we've produced for this issue. This is a poster that we made. It's Sergeant Spangle and the cast of the first issue crossing the Delaware River, like that famous painting of Washington.
Yeah.
But we got a river of oil this time. It says "Join or Die." I really like this poster.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Thank you. So, yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about it on here.
No,
I
not
really
at all.
appreciate it.
I hope some folks actually see it. I was trying to figure out what show to put you on, so that you could talk about that a little bit, because we just did a commercial last time, and this was just a thing we were doing anyway. So it sort of made sense. Anyway, we'll get into X-Men here in a minute.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I was gonna say, like, I was very pleased to come on for this because it reminds me of the old days when we would do like the commentaries on all the Marvel movies and some of the TV shows and stuff. It's always a good time.
Yeah, and you've done commentaries with me going all the way back. I mean, early on, you and I did a lot more comic reviews together than anything. But like we did the Star Wars movies, and we never did that last one.
I know. Because what? There's almost nothing to say about it.
What is there to say? Why would we do that? We would just be there to point and laugh at. Like,
I really am still stunned that.
Or
that
would you just be
movie...
depressed? Is that all that would be? Because for me, I'm just laughing at how it even came together that way. Maybe Dan would just cry and that would be the whole show. I don't know.
I'm kind of like a grumpy person about Star Wars in the sense that they recently re-released the Dark Forces Doom clone FPS, the first game that Kyle Katarn was in. It's basically Rogue One but done cooler. It's the plot of how the Death Star plans were stolen in the old canon, and it's so good, and I'm run through it. I'm like, this is why I love Star Wars. This is so awesome. And then I'll see a commercial or some news about whatever the Disney thing is, and I'm just I have no desire to look at this, even if people say it's good. I'm just kind of apathetic at this point. It's a sad time, but it is what it is. There's other cool stuff out there besides Star Wars.
Real quick before we get into X-Men, the other thing I was going to say about your series that surprised me is it's really ambitious in that you're starting with full color art, which most independent, especially first timers don't do. Everybody starts with black and white, and not to throw anybody in particular under the bus, but over the years, since I've been reviewing comics forever, I've had people send me stuff they're working on, in their house, in their basement or whatever, and when they do full color, it tends to look really bad. And you guys already know what you're doing. It looks pretty professional, and the color work. I'm not looking at it wishing it was black and white, so that's good. And it is a book that could be black and white really easily. I mean, especially being an EC throwback and all of that. There's a part of me that's maybe this should be black and white, but it looks good in color. So I don't know. That's really ambitious of you guys.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, Rodrigo does all the coloring for the interior art. He's a monster. He does the line art, he does the coloring and the lettering. He does all of it. So
is he penciling, or is he? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Or is he drawing digital in the first place? Because I couldn't tell.
He's digital. He
Okay.
does all of his art digitally. He posts a lot of really cool drawing videos, and because we've been working together a lot, I get the luxury of seeing him his process drawing panels that I described, and it's it's really, really neat. But yeah, I agree with you on the black and white point. I get the inks back, and I'm maybe we shouldn't put color on this sometimes because it looks so great. I'm actually doing a sci-fi 8-page short story about an alien contact story with him right now. I've got the second to last pages in today, and the inks on that, I was I kind of want to ask him not to color this. Like, it looks really great. So
If I were you, and don't let me sway you one way or another, but a lot of people will do their black and white comic, and then eventually they'll do a trade that's finally in color. I would go backwards if I were you guys. I would do like down the road when you've got enough issues. I would consider doing a like cheaper black and white trade edition, because it wouldn't cost as much to print, and I think it would look really good.
yeah, I was thinking maybe, too, we could do something like, I think it's been really cool. Recently, Marvel's been doing those like black, white, and red books where it's like black and white except for the color red or one other color.
Oh, that's a great idea for this. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to do something like that too. That'd be awesome.
Sure. Well, anyway, okay, so we're gonna watch some X-Men.
Let's do it.
We were planning on doing 5 episodes. We're gonna try. Dan's not gonna be able to be here for all of it, but Jayson and I will try to stay up. So apologies, Jayson, in advance. Tomorrow's a school day. I'm a terrible father.
It's fine.
I want to read part of this article from CBR that came out a few years ago. This came out in 2020 and is a really good breakdown of the background of what happened with the season and why it looks so weird. Because I don't want to just watch this and speculate about it. We actually have this information, and instead of my summarizing it, I'll just read some of this because it's well put together, and we'll understand what's happening when we read this. So this article is titled "Why X-Men TAS's Final Season Looks So Odd." Debuting as sneak preview, blah, blah, blah. Hold on. Do I need to read this paragraph? No, moving right along. The show's design sense was directly influenced by Jim Lee. Dan, could you imagine in the early 90s being somebody like Jim Lee or Liefeld, being that young and having that much influence on freaking everything? Like, it's crazy.
It really is crazy. I can't believe like the degree to which Jim Lee has risen in the industry in general. Like the fact that he's kind of like the highest authority at DC Comics, like the comic division and the publishing is crazy to me.
Yeah.
And those Image guys, like back then, when they like started their company, they were like doing really well. They were driving like fast cars. It was crazy times in the 90s.
Yeah. Like, before that, the only big independent people that you saw that made that kind of money starting with a comic property, although these guys cheated because it was also because of toys and animation, were Eastman and Laird. Eastman, who bought a tank.
Insane.
But anyway, for a brief period, Marvel wasn't too pleased with the animators embracing Jim Lee, most likely because the artist had recently left the company to form the rival publisher Image. Still, the producers won this battle, and the show attempted to replicate the highly detailed Jim Lee look within the confines of a Saturday morning TV budget, which I've always thought is like 70% of why that show is as popular as it is.
Yeah.
The results were inconsistent as maybe 50 and then another 20% you could give to the theme song. The results were inconsistent as the overseas studio AKOM often struggled to animate the more complicated designs. The production company Saban, which was ultimately in charge of the show, viewed AKOM as capable of doing passable work within the bounds of the series' budget. Interestingly, the producers of Batman TAS considered AKOM the weakest studio assigned to their show, one they were eager to drop at the first opportunity. The budget for X-Men, however, left AKOM as its chief animation studio. So it's important to note how much less money and time the show got, which is why a lot of animation gaffes get left in, and why it doesn't look as tight and professional as Batman TAS. It isn't that the talent wasn't there necessarily, it's that they didn't have the resources. And those guys talk about that all the time.
Well, I think, this revelation is very enlightening given how much better the DCAU stuff looks in general when compared to the Marvel stuff. I mean, I think these shows have their charm.
Oh, absolutely.
But, yeah. I mean, the TAS shows in the DC universe are just beautiful shows. Like, the animation is, most of the time, really, really great. And I couldn't agree more that these are very inconsistent.
Frank Squillis, an animator on the show, has spoken in the past about X-Men's budget issues. In an interview on Pop Geeks, he compared working on X-Men to other shows like Batman TAS and later X-Men Evolution. He says, basically, without getting into the details of straight numbers, we had only half the budget of Batman and X-Men Evolution. They both had a lot more time to do better jobs, but I think when all is said and done, we were every bit as good as them. I'm not going to agree with that because I don't think a lot of their scripts were on the same level as what Paul Dini and those guys were doing. But
Right.
I say that with all due respect. There's also a difference between adapting from like Englehart and some of those 70s and 80s Batman guys and adapting from Claremont. And I mean, Claremont's great plotting wise, but he's writing soap operas.
Yes, he is.
Like,
and
his writing
and
style
says that
is
openly.
Yeah, his writing style is very melodramatic and intentionally so. They're doing different things.
Absolutely, yeah. But I think the thing one of the things that I think has made this show enduringly popular is because it is the most kind of longest serialized X-Men thing, so you kind of do get the feeling of reading a Claremont story where everything it sets up and pays off like in a serialized nature over the course of a long time. Like, that's what's so cool about the Claremont X-Men run in general, is how deeply he like seeds things, progresses the story, and then pays it off like even years and years later. It's very impressive stuff on a comic writing level, So you kind of get, this is the thing that can give you that sort of feeling of reading the X-Men comics.
Yep. Also, Dan, I had an epic run-in with him that I haven't had a chance to talk to you about. So go watch that part of the Captain Logan show from the other day, because it's epic and amazing.
I heard a little bit about this from Austin, actually. He was telling me that he pulled you to the side and was talking about how TOS is the only good Star Trek show or something.
For 20 minutes, he told me every thought he's ever had about Star Trek.
That's awesome.
And pissed off people in the line behind me. He started 5 minutes in. He started signing other people's things and not talking to them and continuing to talk to me.
That's so funny.
But anyway, even if the overseas animators often couldn't match the ambition of the American designers, X-Men had a particular look. One element the producers used to compensate for the inconsistent overseas animation was to generate intricate background designs, often more complex than the ones fans were used to seeing in a monthly Marvel series. And they printed a bunch of those in the art and making of the animated series, which came out in 2020, and I have not bought that, but I need to go back and get that. I think it's still on Amazon. And then this says, but there's another question addressed by the authors, showrunner Eric Lewald and his wife Julia Lewald, writer on the show. When the final season of the series debuted in '96, the distinctive look of the show was gone. The first 5 episodes featured the standard designs, but less ambitious production. The final 6 episodes, which we're going to try to watch tonight, or at least some of it, then shifted to a noticeably different look with an entirely new design aesthetic. Jubilee's Fairy Tale Theater introduced the new look, simplified designs and backgrounds, and a look far closer to traditional television animation, bearing no resemblance to a 1990s Marvel comic. The show's models had been retooled to remove most of the shading and detail lines, creating a mood not so different from any other cartoon of the era. The Lewalds explained the order for more episodes came as a surprise, as the previous season's Beyond Good and Evil 4-part story was intended as a, quote, slam bang series finale. And Jayson and I watched that today in preparation for this and loved it, and are now, we hadn't watched it in a while, we'd seen it before, but now we're wishing that we were doing that tonight instead. Animators who had shepherded the series through, and it feels like a finale. It's this big, grandiose, like, destroy the universe plot, and it brings back like everybody you care about, except for Juggernaut. There's no Juggernaut.
Yeah, what the heck? I didn't even think about that. Why is he not there?
Animators who had shepherded the series throughout its run, like Larry Houston, had moved on to other projects. This is the important part. And Graz Entertainment, which oversaw the American side of animation production, was shut down during this run of episodes, as its owners had been hired to work for DreamWorks. Saban, which had previously overseen post-production in America, was now taking Graz's place and cutting corners whenever possible. Though Wald's right, Mark Lewis explained that part of this was well-intentioned hope on the part of the remaining designers, including Frank Squillis, that if they helped simplify the designs, the lower animation budget would be easier for the overseas animators to deal with. It may have helped a little, but the animation still suffered with the limited design. And without Larry Houston or Margaret or Stephanie Graz, demanding costly retakes, mistakes, and awkward images were not fixed. And then Squillis says, for me personally, they wouldn't let me do the job. They wouldn't tell me when I needed to cut corners. I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but non-creative people had taken over, and when you're already walking on your knees because they cut you off with the legs, I felt I couldn't produce the show anymore. I couldn't keep up the standard of quality we worked for. So that's when I left. I left the show right when we were doing the Captain America meets Wolverine episode. Len Wein wrote that, and it would have been amazing. And there's more information here. That's all I'm going to read. But that's the long and short of why that happened.
Interesting. Okay.
So anyway, 30 minutes in, we're finally going to watch some of the show.
Let's do it.
Dan, thanks for being here with us, man.
No, of course. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
We'll watch as much of this as we can get away with before Dan gets going, and then we'll watch a little bit more after that, probably, and we'll see if Jason and I fall asleep. Okay, here we go. Everybody, thanks for watching live. We are watching this on Disney Plus, of course. Timestamp 0. We're going to be watching Jubilee's Fairy Tale Theater, for better or worse. And Jason, you've not seen this one?
No, I've not. I'm very excited because I love Jubilee.
Now, I think you've seen a little bit of this season because Disney used to have it ordered wrong and some of it was mixed into 4, so I'm pretty sure you've seen the Phalanx 2-parter.
Yes.
That's at the beginning of the season.
I think.
Well, anyway.
But it's not with that animation, so.
Okay. Here we go. Dan, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, I'm getting my clock up here so that everybody can sync up with us. Everybody, please press play right now. So here's the new.
Kind of different.
Yeah, this is the new shortened intro with the much harder electric guitar. It might even be pitched up. I'm not sure.
I do like this. Yeah, it is. Now, I don't like how they are doing the theme, but I do like this intro. It looks cool.
I miss the giant names.
That's cool.
Yeah, I actually hate this. I forgot about that they just... Okay, it's appropriate with the animation change that they're just doing a bunch of clips from the show, because that's what everything else was doing.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Why does this look like a Magic School Bus?
It really does.
That's exactly what it looks like. Dan, the original voice of Jubilee is not voicing her in the new show. Have you heard about that?
I haven't, no.
They decided that because she's supposed to be Chinese, they wanted a Chinese actress this time. So they kept as many people as they thought they could, but for, those kind of, like modern progressive reasons, they felt the need to recast anybody that was the wrong ethnicity. But they've kept her on as some other character. So I think it's cool they at least kept the actress, but I personally don't think that's necessary. Fight me if you want to. I don't think we should have a problem with that, but that's just me.
The thing that's crazy is they got rid of the Jubilee actress because of her race, but kept the guy that doesn't sound like Wolverine to get nostalgia. I don't know. It's really strange.
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, but whatever,
Okay, can we get the SWAT Cats theme now?
If I just saw this on a television, I would not know this was X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Wolverine looked weird.
He did. This feels like a completely different X-Men show. This feels like a completely different show.
I know.
Okay, Now that you said Magic School Bus, I can't stop thinking it because the situation feels like that too. Like, oh look, stalactites! Like we're kids. We're supposed to be taking notes.
At my old school, we didn't have crappy X-Men animation.
You even have the diverse cast of characters.
Yeah.
Like you got the token black kid with a flat top.
Yeah,
like,
that looks like exactly the same as what's his
it
name?
is Magic School Bus, or they're at least the Planeteers from Captain
Right.
Planet.
I love how there was just a rock and it like zoomed in like this is a super dramatic image. It's like, what?
Yeah, and there's 5 of them. They could be the Planeteers. You got like Mati right there, and Earth, Wind, Water, Fire, Heart. Go Jubilee!
Go Jubilee.
Yes, forget the Rogs. Writer, we're watching Jubilee's Fairy Tale Theater. It's episode 6 of season 5. If you want to know why, blame X-Men 97. Jayson, we've got a big week coming up, man.
We do, yeah.
Because Ghostbusters this week. We're going to try to review that on Sunday. Jayson and I are going to do probably some kind of how we felt about on as much of that show as X-Men 97 as we can.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
And then the Superhero Rewind commentary project is on Friday, and we're doing Days of Future Past that night. So,
nice.
Huge week!
The X-Men hype is real.
It is.
Jubilee is a character that I never like loved or anything until I was reading recently the solo Wolverine series, the first one that started in the 80s. I read through the first like 100 issues of that, and she's like kind of his like Robin through like the early parts of it, and she's a cool character.
Oh, cool. You know what they were doing with her when I first got back into New Comics, Dan? I was reading New in like 2011, and she was a vampire.
Yes, it was called Curse of the Mutants. I remember that story.
It's not great.
No, it's not.
So why is Magneto medieval spawn?
I don't know.
Well, that's not Magneto.
Oh, okay. Why does he have a bunch of Magneto medieval spawns?
So this is like Jubilee telling fairy tales, and everything for some reason is the X-Men or looks like the X-Men characters.
Yes.
So that was supposed to be Gambit. This
Yep.
is supposed to be Magneto, Evil Knight people. I don't know who this guy is.
I'm pretty sure it's Link.
Yeah.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Yeah, exactly.
The animation doesn't look that far off from that show
No,
either.
it doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to ask you guys a question, and I think I know the answer to it. If this is what this show looked like from the beginning, would X-Men 97 be getting made?
No.
No, writer Magneto was in the show from season 1, but they're doing a weird thing with him. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, he's here because she's reimagining everything in their lore as a medieval fairy tale.
Oh, okay.
See, she was reading that fairy tale book.
The one they call Jubilee.
Because I'm telling the story. Yeah, there you go.
This is like that TAS Batman episode where they like tell different stories about Batman, but like way worse.
Yeah, except it sucks. Also, we've done that Batman story way too many times in things now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you know about that, Dan, because you're not a Batman guy, but we keep doing that. I've seen it done 5 or 6 times in animated shows, in animated movies, in comics. Like, we can't get away from that. Where there's like 3 kids that all saw Batman in different ways, and just so that we can draw different old Batman styles. Like, that's the only reason we ever do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that has been done a lot.
A lot. And she's Zelda.
Yeah.
She is. She's even got elf ears. And, like, depending on the way the shot looks, they look like they're, like, glued on because they're, like, a different color.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know this, but in animation, you could make that look seamless, but
Yeah.
it doesn't.
I don't know if you
Nicholas
know this, but you
Bodo.
can make people's ears look real with proper animation.
True.
Oh my God, Wolverine's an orc.
What the heck?
And now it's Masters of the Universe. What's
Yeah.
happening?
What is happening?
It's World of Mutant Craft. Oh, he's a troll. Okay.
Yeah, but he looked disgusting when he was Wolverine.
Yeah, with this animation style. Nicholas Bodo, what's the best season of X-Men? I would say 3.
Clearly, it's 5.
Yeah, clearly.
I think it's 3.
I would say 3 because that's
3
all
gives you
the
the
big
big
stuff.
epics. Well,
It gives you
is
Phoenix Saga.
Days of Future Past 2?
Days of Future Past is at the end of 1.
Oh, is it that already?
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
okay.
The sequel to that is 2.
But I love all the Sentinel stuff in 1. I have a hard time getting past 1.
See, I can't. Some of the one-off episodes in 1 are kind of lame though.
That's true.
And all of the one-off episodes in 3 are pretty good.
See, 3, but
and-
3 gets to cheat because it doesn't have as many. It's mostly the big epic
Yeah, it's mostly Phoenix
episodes,
Saga
and it does all the
stuff.
Phoenix stuff. Like
Yeah.
it does Phoenix Saga, and then you get like 2 standalone episodes, then you get Dark Phoenix right after that.
Yeah, but it has the best episode of the show, which is Rogue's Tale. So, and it has some of the
Oh,
best.
that's I know.
And it has the 2 best Wolverine episodes.
Oh, look, and they're walking into Grayskull.
Yeah.
Jayson is obsessed with Rogue.
Rogue's an awesome character. I like Rogue a lot.
Rogue's great.
Who are your favorite X-Men characters, the two of you?
Rogue and Gambit and Juggernaut.
And Juggernaut, that's awesome.
Well, Dan, you know me. I'm a huge Xavier fan.
Yeah, Xavier's a great character too.
I always have been. And I've always been a big Wolverine guy. I don't care how popular he is.
No, Wolverine's a great character. Like
Sometimes
I don't
there's
care
a
how
reason
popular.
characters are so popular.
Yeah, no, totally. I'm a big Nightcrawler guy. I like
Yep.
Cyclops a lot. Wolverine, of course, and Magneto. Magneto's one of my favorite comic book characters of all time too.
Yeah, well, and I think I have that too, just because I'm such an Xavier fan, and it's sort of like Superman Lex Luthor. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
What?
look at Sabretooth.
He's just Bigfoot.
Yeah. Oh, that.
Oh
looks
man, shake the
terrible.
camera.
Yeah,
now,
but like the
now
shake
we're doing
the
like
camera looks.
now we're doing like filmation effects here. Good lord.
Ah, that
We-
hurt
we-
my eyes. That hurt my
we-
brain.
We just need Scooby-Doo to show up and the
Yeah.
the
That's what I was
mystery
gonna
here
say.
be
Is
complete.
this is like Filmation and Hanna Barbera had an unfortunate love child. No one should attend that wedding. You should be offended
Oh.
by that wedding.
It's like Hanna Barbera, and it's not even Deke good. Like
It's not even.
Deke. I do wish they had made action figures of the fairy tale versions of the X-Men.
that would have been awesome. Well, they didn't have enough money.
This is totally just like the interns D&D campaign turned into an episode.
That's so good. Well, I keep wondering why we're in the Cave of Wonders.
Yeah,
Who disturbs my slumber?
I noticed earlier too. There was like some immaculately carved stairs. Like this is like someone's home too. I was like, what is going on? I thought this was a cave.
You know what this is? You know what else this is, Dan? It's a point and click adventure game.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. It is actually.
Does a cave babe eat chili
Yeah.
dogs?
Dude. Sabretooth's design looks like they took the design of Sasquatch, you know, the character from Alpha Flight, and just put Sabretooth's head on top of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's possible that that's exactly what it is, because he's been in the show. Like, they might have just taken that character model. You might be onto something.
This is totally like the Zelda animated series where they're throwing the Triforce around, like, as they're fighting Ganon. And,
That's
like,
exactly
you know,
what
just
it is.
catching it.
Exactly what
And
it
you got
is.
Ganon just standing there.
Yeah.
Dan, you and I haven't had time to get together and do a regular series for a long time, but if we do, this should be what it is. We just find the crappiest cartoons possible.
I'd be up for that. I rewatched through the Mask animated series relatively recently. That was an interesting show to revisit.
Did you really?
Yeah, for whatever reason, I like got obsessed with the Mask. Like when I had COVID, when I first moved to New York, I read through like every comic appearance of the Mask and like went back and like watched the animated series, watched the movie again, watched Son of the Mask again. It was a good time.
Well, and you and I did a commentary on The Mask like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies. Reading
too.
the comics was really interesting, seeing like the things they adapted. You know,
Yeah.
it was really cool.
I've got those. We should review that at some point. I've always wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't like them, but they're really interesting.
They are really cool. I read Dark Horse has the omnibuses. There's 2 of them that collect all of the like, you know, main continuity ones, and then they did an Adventures of the Mask omnibus too, and I read all that as well. And no, they were really, really interesting. There's even like a DC crossover that
What
I read.
is that
where, like,
voice
the
that he's
Joker gets
doing?
the mask.
Yeah, they did a Joker thing. Yep.
Yeah.
I've never read that. I've only read the first 2 miniseries. And I thought the writing was really immature, but the art is cool.
Yeah, no, it is. Doug Mankey is the guy that did those, and he's
Is that
still...
who that is?
Yeah, it is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's cool.
When I read it like 14 years ago, I probably didn't even know who that was.
Yeah,
I know that
no,
name
exactly.
now. This episode is nothing. Like,
No,
why are
it's
we
very
watching
boring. Hence why we're talking about the Mask.
There's an episode in first season Star Trek Strange New Worlds that does exactly this episode,
Oh, really?
which is unfortunate.
Oh.
I like that show better than the rest of New Trek, but it does some crap comedy episodes, man.
So, Wolverine's voice in this episode, what he's doing is hilarious.
But it still sounds more like the actual character than what the guy sounds like now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Trying to do yeah.
He has like a lisp. It's really funny.
I'm not hearing that. Hold on.
It's the
It's-
Triforce of Wisdom.
It's still just Zelda.
Yep.
Oh, she's got 2.
They even look like rupees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do. What's she gonna buy with those?
My
There
little
was
brigand.
no sound effect for that laser beam. Did you catch that?
No.
It was weird. Breathing.
It's Zelda.
His face doesn't even remotely look like Magneto's face. Like,
Yeah,
they're not even
like, at all.
trying.
His costume looks so strange too. Like they still have Magneto's like metal like mask shoulder pad or cape shoulder pad things.
What is that outfit? Why does his beard look like that?
I don't know.
He's got goatee. Well, see, that's what goatees look like in the 14th century. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
Or whatever the hell this is.
Anything.
It's not a lisp, but he's putting it in the back of his throat.
But he's like, I don't use it to move darkness.
Oh. I didn't know
she made
Jubilee
a
had
big
fusion
ruby.
powers.
She made a big ruby.
So this whole
Out
thing
of
is just
2
a waste of
rubies.
time because it's not even Jubilee like I don't know. She's not teaching these kids anything with the
No.
story. It's not something she's having to like work through by couching it in this fairy tale. Like it's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
She's making up a random ass story and we're watching it in her head. That's it.
I'm telling you, she's just a crappy dungeon master. Like that's what this is.
I feel like that would be better if it was like Jubilee with some of the other X-Men just playing a pencil and paper RPG.
Yeah.
Like, why couldn't it? That's still pointless and a waste of time. But it might be a fun diversion. This is nothing.
Yeah.
She's not even creative. I love when
No.
you said interns D&D campaign.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the people who are watching this who with us who have never seen X-Men before.
Like Dan. I feel bad for Dan not watching the show for 20 years and now this is what he gets.
Yeah.
Scott's glasses looked awful.
Yeah, what?
He looks like Kidvid.
They've never looked like that before. Why do they look like that?
Because of the anime. Do I need to reread that whole article?
No, but like, what?
Gambit also looks like Davy Crockett now or something.
Whoa! Did you see Wolverine's face? Did you see his mutton chops pop up and down?
Yeah. Oh my god, those eyebrows.
Yeah.
They
Xavier's
look even
eyebrows.
wackier than usual.
They're like huge.
What is that voice?
Storm.
Okay, so Xavier looks 40 years younger,
Yes.
and Jean Grey looks like she has a sunburn.
True. What was that? That was the worst laugh I've heard in my entire life.
I think you're giving it too much credit by calling it a laugh. I couldn't tell you what that was supposed to be.
And that's supposed to be
What was
Scott, I
Wolverine
assume.
even
So the
doing?
Wolverine troll has part of Wolverine's costume across his shoulders.
Maybe she'll be a princess later. I don't think that's how that works, Jubilee.
No, I think you are or you aren't. You can push against it. They're getting in a school bus. They're in an actual school. Okay, how is this not an homage? It has to be, right?
Wait, were those not mutant kids? Why were they on a field trip with the X-Men
Who
at
were
the
those-
Xavier school?
Who were these children? I know who they were. They were the Magic School Bus kids. These character models are painful. Also, did you see all the frames missing?
Yeah, there's so many frames
There's
missing.
frames missing.
Do.
Yeah.
Did you see Xavier's like, "Argh."
Why is she doing flips? This is so weird.
I
Look,
don't.
It's the good show.
And then she's just like, woohoo.
Yeah, look, it's a clip from the show you were ostensibly watching, but
It's a
aren't.
clip from the show you wish you were watching.
This is bad.
Are you guys just playing the next one? Like, you're just letting it go?
No, I just hit the play button and we'll pause it and then everybody can start at the same time. I like
Okay,
to
cool,
line it
cool.
up like that for people.
Cool.
Jayson, I still don't know if that's the worst episode though. Is
It's
that
not.
is that worse than More Like Christmas?
It is not worse than More Like Christmas.
I don't think it's worse than More
And
Like
I
Christmas.
think I don't even think it's as bad as, and I know you like this episode for some reason, but I don't even think it's as bad as Mojo Vision.
Oh, Mojo Vision is look. You don't have to like Mojo.
I don't like Mojo Vision. I don't like the plot. I don't like Mojo.
But I feel okay. But I feel like
the voice
not
is
liking
super
Mojo
annoying.
Vision is just saying I wish they hadn't made a Mojo episode. Like they did it right.
Well,
it's Mojo. What do you want?
Yeah, but I just don't like what they did with it. Like and that was my first experience with Mojo. So like,
Okay, well that
I
just means you don't like Mojo. That's
yeah,
fine.
that's why I don't like that episode.
I
So-
think all the stuff that has to say about like television at the time is really clever.
I mean, I like some of that.
There's
but
some fun satire
It's
there.
not fun to watch.
And it's got the chick with the 6 or 8 arms or what is her name? She's in the X-Men Capcom game.
Oh, yeah.
Fighting, I can't remember her name. Anyway, That was the first place I saw her. The Capcom games will sometimes have these, especially for the time, really obscure characters where you only know them from that and you never see them show up anywhere, and you're like, who is this character?
It's very true. I'm not like well versed in like Capcom lore, so like it'll just be these characters and like I have no idea who the hell this is.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I always thought of myself as a big Marvel vs. Capcom fan, but I didn't know a lot of the Capcom characters, and I wasn't a Street Fighter guy. So what I learned is I like Capcom's Marvel games, and I just never found a Marvel superheroes machine. I was stuck with also the Capcom characters. So now that I have the arcade one-up, just Marvel superheroes game, I'm like, oh, that's good enough for me. That's all I need. I don't need all these Capcom people. I don't know who they are. I only ever play with the Marvel characters anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way.
Are you really?
Marvel
No.
vs. Capcom 3 is the best one because it has Phoenix Wright, though. So
True. Is
and
that
he's awesome.
The most recent one is 4, right? That's the one that people didn't like.
People didn't like 4 because it was like baby's first Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it was kind of streamlined. They tried to make it easier, but I still thought it was fun. I like it.
I've played it.
I've got kids, so I appreciated it.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
But they brought back all the stuff with the Infinity Gauntlet
Oh, that's cool.
that's in Marvel superheroes.
See, I wish I was good at fighting games. I had the most recent Injustice game, and I got to the Brainiac boss battle in that, and like I couldn't do it. It's so bad.
It takes some time. That game is all about grinding.
Yeah.
You got to really work on that level up characters, and if you get really into it and you think it's fun like I do to make costumes for your characters, the grind was kind of worth it, and then you get better at the game. So I have like a level 20 Black Canary because of that, and you get a bunch of extra moves and things. So now my Black Canary can do her canary cry at an angle and not just straightforward. It's very exciting.
My mains were the Flash and Aquaman. They were like the guys I tried to get good with because they're like two of my favorite DC characters. And the Flash I was like pretty good with because you could like, sort of button mash and like just overwhelm people with the speed of your attack. So that's what I would do most of the time. But
Aquaman's really good in those games. I never got great with him, but he's got some really fun, gnarly trident stuff. And I never got good with Flash.
I got really good with Sub-Zero, which is kind of
cheating.
Weird. Because
it's not even.
Yeah, I know
DC
it's not even a DC character, but like it's the best character in that game. The best DC character though is Wonder Woman.
It was always fun putting him up against Killer Frost, though.
Yeah. Even though Sub-Zero is the better one.
Or were they both in the same game? Now that I'm
no,
maybe
Killer Frost was in the first one.
Maybe I'm mixing it. Maybe you couldn't do that. I forget. Anyway.
I think.
Well, let's watch the second episode and see if it's any better. This is old. Oh, I know what this is. This is Old Soldiers. So this is the Captain America episode, and this has the weirdest face models with Wolverine.
Go.
So you will enjoy that, and it is a Lin Wein script, so there's some good stuff in it.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I have seen this, but like a long time ago, and I don't remember.
Let's get into it. Here we go. Everybody, please press play right now. AMC says, Jason's well-documented hatred for Mojo Vision. Yeah, when we reviewed that, he just went on and on about it. Maybe at some point we'll finally do those kind of reviews for 4 and 5.
Yeah.
We have to go back and rewatch 4 because it's been too long.
I don't know if I could do that for 5, man.
I think
this is good enough.
You got to be a completionist.
Yeah.
I like how at this point, Dan, they're like, you already know who all these people are.
Mojo!
We don't have to put their names on the screen anymore.
I know.
That's creepy. They're in Paris.
There's a lot of globetrotting in this show. Meanwhile, back in the cemetery.
Well, or they're just in one of those random places that just has a random little Paris.
It's so sad that this episode couldn't have the regular animation from the show. So we have simplified the character model to the point where Wolverine's got the big mutton chops, but is completely clean shaven otherwise.
Yes. Those look like face, like side of your face beards. Like they're not even like cut close. They look interesting.
That's a weird shot. Why are we shooting between his legs?
We love when Wolverine yells at a grave.
I also like it when he just slashes things.
Yeah, it's great.
I know.
Is there anything more disrespectful than taking your claws and slashing a gravestone?
If that's not in the Insomniac Wolverine game, we write.
What?
You need to be able to do that. Absolutely.
Yep.
I hope they go one further, Dan. I hope you can go dig up graves with your claws.
Oh, absolutely.
Now he's the Tick.
Go stepping goons.
This is where the craziest face model stuff happens.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He will have these just bizarre facial expressions that change. Like he'll have 5 different expressions within a span of 2 seconds.
Hell yes.
It's great. Look how moody they're trying to be, but they just didn't farm it out to the right house.
Wow, those German accents.
Tom wants to know why he's talking like a pirate. He is kind of talking like a pirate.
The Nazi guy?
Yeah.
Huh.
No, I think he means Wolverine.
Oh, okay. I was like,
So what is the light source that's making Wolverine's suit light up in the places it's lighting up?
I mean, there's a street lamp.
Well, I know, but no matter where he stands, it does that. It's just the outline of the suit.
I do like the globetrotty Wolverine stuff.
yeah, that stuff is cool.
Oh, yes, I remember this. The eyes of liberty never sleep.
And
That's the code phrase that he has to say it again. Look, Dan, it's intrigue.
we don't do that much globetrotting when it's not with Wolverine. Like there's so many like globetrotting Wolverine episodes, and
Well,
then there's a great Cyclops one.
We go to Europe a decent amount.
Yeah,
But then that was also with Wolverine dealing
Yeah.
with Nightcrawler.
there's a great Cyclops one with Purple Man.
Purple Man's episode is really cool.
It's really good.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's
I didn't even
top
realize he was
10
in
for
the
me.
show.
It's fascinating they did that. I didn't know that for the longest time either until we watched a lot of the show in order.
That's awesome.
And then I was like, Jayson, I really wish I could show you Jessica Jones, but you're still not old enough for that show. But then Jayson, in Beyond Good and Evil, they're all over the place to the point where it gets really distracting that they keep cutting to different countries, putting up location stamps. Like every 3 minutes, they're just in some other location.
He rolled that up real fast.
Look, he's very old. Okay, he's got a lot of practice to that. Even in 1944, he's got a lot of practice at rolling crap up. I got me a mountain to tame.
You know she's attractive in French because she has a mole.
That automatically makes her like 20% hotter.
Yeah, exactly. Be careful.
Be careful. Well, they haven't lost that, Dan. They haven't lost the really over the top accents.
Yeah,
Exactly.
true. This is the most X-Men episode so far.
Yeah.
Just because it's so like globetrotting. And it's...
What you mean compared to the Zelda episode?
Yeah.
I haven't compared this to one other show so far. That automatically makes it more X-Men. I don't see how
I
you
love
sneak.
these Nazi voice actors.
Yeah, they're great. I don't see how you sneak up with anybody in that neon suit.
Why does it look like that?
I feel like it's like Venom in the Spider-Man animated series. They
That's
do a similar
exactly
thing
right.
with him where he just looks shiny all the time
Yeah,
to show the
because
muscle definition.
you can tell what it's supposed to be, but they're just too simplistic with the art.
Yeah, exactly.
What is this?
This is your Captain America theme? Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, what is the soundtrack? What is happening?
That's what you did?
This voice actor for Cap is something else.
And their guest heroes are usually pretty on point with these shows. Like their Daredevil in Spider-Man is fantastic.
He's great.
And
Yeah.
I like their Iron Man voice quite a bit. I like their Mr. Fantastic, but he's the same guy that does Deflator Mouse, so that's all I can hear whenever he's talking.
Agreed.
And he's going to be at a convention we're going to try to go to in June, Dan, because he's also Leonardo in the '87 show, and
cool.
they're doing this reunion tour right now with the original 4 voices of the '87 Turtles and April, and that also, because they're the same actors, gives me the Tick, the second Arthur, and Deflator Mouse. So I'm
awesome.
going to that show for Tick stuff, not for Ninja Turtles, even though I also was a fan of the Ninja Turtle stuff. But I collect Tick, so that's what I have to get.
That's awesome.
Okay, so 2 things.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Not really cool, but it was funny. It was a funny what's the thingy thing between scenes? When it's like
Transition?
Transition, yeah. It was a transition with the shield where he threw the shield and it went through the camera and it went into another scene. And then also Captain America has Wolverine claws.
Yeah, he has Wolverine claws. That's pretty cool. But did you notice, Dan, the ironic foreshadowing where Wolverine doesn't want to wear a leotard?
Yeah. That's Star-Spangled Monkey Suit.
Yellow spandex.
I don't know if I
Wait.
like Wolverine getting these claw things before. It's really goofy.
No, I don't like.
You
I
know
don't like
these
that either.
things ain't half bad.
No, I kind of like Captain America doing it.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
But like Wolverine had anything
So he's just gonna have a lot of practice with those before he goes through Weapon X.
because
Yeah.
of Captain America.
The first thing you do when you wake up after you freak out because you're all feral or whatever is you'd go, your claws pop out and you freak out. You're like, ah, and then you go, well, now wait a minute, this is familiar. I got these from Captain America that one time. Maybe Steve Rogers is behind Weapon X.
Yeah.
Why is Hugo
Right,
Strange here?
Leave me alone.
I don't know why Hugo Strange is here.
Be fair.
Leave me here before.
Wait, how did you do that? He didn't even
Wait.
touch him. He just
fainted.
he fainted, and then Captain America was like, "What'd you do to him?" And I'm like, "Clearly nothing." And then Wolverine's like, "It's a thing I learned before the war. Just sweep it under the rug."
You heard how you learned how to do absolutely nothing.
And then make somebody. That's a neat trick.
That's a neat trick.
Don't stab him. Careful.
That would be a neat trick.
How does he not stab him?
Dude, his claws just became like 5 feet long in that one shot. That was crazy.
Doesn't this feel like an almost mandated thing where it's like, yeah, you can do a Wolverine flashback episode, but he better not have claws.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you better
Even though
not,
he can't.
not
There it is.
have Captain America.
There's the crazy
Whoa,
face.
whoa, whoa. What was that? Why did he have like super?
Dan, did you see his face almost shapeshift?
Yeah.
Why did his eyes get super big randomly?
The
That
Red
was in
Skull-
previously on X-Men, because how could it not be?
The Red Skull design almost looks like a Bruce Timm animated series design. He's got like the giant exaggerated torso.
Wait, from what?
Red Skull almost looks like a DCAU design. He's got that
Oh, you
giant
said Bruce Timm.
exaggerated, yeah,
Yes, he does
giant
look like
torso. It's so weird.
See, the simplified character models in that show look like an artistic choice.
Yes.
Here, it's cheap, and it would look cheap even if you didn't have the Jim Lee designs to compare it to. Like it's
Exactly.
it's not the same thing.
No.
Because
But
they
that's
also
the
had
kind of-
really cool lighting effects and everything.
Oh, they did, yeah. Like the Red Skull one looks like it's from a different show than this, like even this animation style. It's very weird.
Yeah,
What
he just
is-
walked in from some other TV show.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
You know what this is? This isn't fair to say exactly, but I'm gonna say it anyway because it's funny. This is like Wolverine meets the 1990 Captain America,
Yes.
like that movie.
I mean, I kind of want them to adapt this in live action now.
Is that
Man,
movie good?
his ears. No, it's terrible. His ears might be plastic. Okay, you don't know. Do you know about that, Jason? He's that mask has plastic ears. They're not real ears. It's insane. Jesse Surtees, will you be doing Silver Surfer soon? I love that show. I've been talking about that for a long time, doing
And I've never
blind
seen it.
commentary on that series. Because I like it a lot, and
I've
I don't
never
think
seen
Austin has seen it. Or well, no, I can't remember if he told me he's seen that before or not. Have you ever seen that?
I have not. I've never seen it.
You would like it.
Heck yeah, man. I want to get more into Silver Surfer in general, like read some of the solo stuff.
It is the most faithful to comics, I think, of these shows, and the least silly.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
It holds up fairly
Really?
well. I watched it again a couple of years ago,
That's awesome.
or like right after we moved into this house. I had it on in the background when I was putting my office together, and it holds up pretty
Silver
well.
Surfer is a great character. Hopefully Marvel can get their crap together in the movies before they put him in something, and we can get something cool with him, finally.
I hope so too, because it looks like I'm gonna get Galactus in that first Fantastic Four movie, probably.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what that's like. Hopefully that's kind of their coming out party to show people they know how to make a movie again.
My worry is that they gave that to the right people and it will be really good, but they won't know what they're doing otherwise. But even if that happens, at least we'll get one decent franchise.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that whatever they do with X-Men is cool too, but at the same time it's like, the Fox movies were really good, so it's like I still will have good X-Men movies even if, the new ones are not great. But I
Yeah.
guess we'll see.
But as much as I like some of those movies, I mean, when you say they were really good, half of them
Yeah,
are,
exactly.
are pretty good. It would be so nice to get more off the page, more comic booky X-Men movies.
Yeah, totally.
And it will be
totally.
sad if they do that tone, but the stories suck.
Yeah, I'm just like worried about them like handling like the political aspect of X-Men like very poorly and in
Yeah.
a like boring way, like they kind of did with the stuff they did in the Falcon and
Falcon
Winter
Winter
Soldier
Soldier? Yep.
show. Yeah,
Yep.
Good one.
well, I guess we'll see.
I'm not saying that you can't deal with modern political issues, but you got to be thoughtful about it.
Absolutely.
I don't even know what they thought they were saying.
Me either.
3 episodes into that show, suddenly it's about race. I didn't understand what race had to do with anything.
Yeah, it was very strange. That whole show is just so weird. That new Captain America movie they're making, that's going to be really strange too. Harrison Ford's going to be the Red Hulk. It's like, what is happening?
He's going to be Red Hulk, but he doesn't even know what Red Hulk is, which is amazing.
I know.
Jason, comment on this.
Oh, it's this part. Yeah.
This is the best action in this show.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's in previously on X-Men.
It is, and it's glorious. Jason, I'm sorry, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Would you run point for me?
Sure.
The bigger they come. He didn't finish his.
The bigger they come. What?
Yeah, he didn't finish the catchphrase.
You gonna give me any more on that?
Red Skull looks like he's just wearing like a
Red
padded
Skull?
suit.
He
It's
looks
so
like
weird.
he looks like he has like a pillow under there.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't even look fat. He just looks like he's pretending to be.
Yeah. It's just a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess at least Red Skull's in this. I don't know. I didn't necessarily expect him to be in this episode, but it's cool that he is.
I didn't need him to be.
Nor did he really need to be, like, in general, like, for the story, but...
Yeah. I don't know. I love how the most X-Men episode we've gotten so far is a very Captain America episode.
Yeah. And it's totally because, Len Wein's here, I would imagine.
Mm. Oh no, they're gonna die.
That shot of them falling was so funny.
That
Just
was
falling.
awesome.
Yeah. Hey, we're back to Zelda again.
Oh, that was convenient.
Yeah, I came back in here and I was like, oh look, they're in the episode we just watched.
No, literally, they fell from like that plane and landed on top of hay bales.
Yeah, it's like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Batman falling on foam rubber and going, I thought I noticed that out of the corner of my eye.
He lose, little rat. This voice actor is very good at like portraying Wolverine's like angry bitterness.
Well, he sounds like that even if he's really happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I've said this on the channel before, but I don't understand why at this period, macho is throwing your voice at the absolute back of your throat.
What?
Yeah, it's
Like,
weird.
every big macho tough guy talks like this. Like they're all Zorak. I don't understand that.
What? She's alive. The heck?
Oh my god, how?
And she's not like 80. She's like still kind of attractive.
You're only saying that because she still has the mole.
I mean, but she doesn't have gray hair.
Well,
No, for a second I
It's
was
'cause
like,
she's
how? I
animated.
was like, how is she still the same age? And then I'm like, okay, no, they want you to think she's the age she's supposed to be, but she's not.
no.
Like that doesn't work. She's 40 at the most.
And then she's like, the years have been kind to you. Yeah, what the heck? What do you mean?
The years have been really kind to you.
She should be like 70, because it was like
Little Red Riding Hood.
the 30s in that, and she was like 20.
Yeah, their version of old is just like
A line.
an Ozempic patient. Like,
They make her face a little longer, and she has a line on each side, and that's
Yeah.
it.
she looks like malnourished. That's it.
And she's a bit paler.
True.
Thank you, Zorak, for playing your part. You're welcome.
See, I wanted them to do like the badass old lady voice. Like, she should have
Wait.
been doing her voice in the back of her throat to show
Okay,
how old
she's-
she is.
She's pale in some frames. And then sometimes she's like the same skin tone as Wolverine.
Dan, I think we have to assume that she's wearing a wig. It's the only possible explanation.
Right.
True. Hero.
Oh, that's what he was stabbing.
You put it in
Okay.
English on a French grave. No one's gonna know what you're saying, Wolverine.
Yeah.
He's so disrespectful. Okay, so remember how I said that was a Liam Weed script, so there was cool stuff in it? The cool stuff is Captain America was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the next
Well,
one-
that cool thing where he like went, and then.
I
was
think
real
half
articulate.
of like why Cap was like, I don't know, weird for me in this episode is the voice actor. Like, he just didn't. He was not great.
No, I mean they were trying to make him sound like a 1940s actor in a in a serial or something. Like I can kind of see what they were going for, but
But he just sounded like I don't know, just a bad actor.
oh, and not like a mean person, an actual bad actor.
Yeah, exactly.
That was someone with malevolent intention. Okay, hidden agendas is the next one. Dan, are you gonna do one or two more with us, or
Yeah, I can do this one, and then I gotta scoot. But
okay, no
definitely
problem.
here for this one.
And then he's gonna bail on us, Jason. We got to do the rest of it on our own.
Oh no!
Sorry.
Are we gonna try to do 5?
He just can't take any more. We'll see how we do.
Okay.
All right, hidden agendas. The only thing I know is, and maybe it's in this one, I'm not sure. The only thing I know that's in these back episodes is the sinister origin.
Yes, I did know about that as well.
I know that's supposed to happen somewhere. Anyway, here we go. Everybody, please press play right now.
No, it's.
I don't know why you would mess with this theme.
Me neither.
Yeah.
But I wonder what Wasserman thinks about that, or like how much he had to do with that.
I bet he's never heard this.
Yeah.
I would bet you money Ron Wasserman has never heard this version of this theme. If I ever see him again, I will ask him about that.
Hidden agendas.
Oh, they could have titled this episode Bad Actors.
True.
Flintstones, meet the Flintstones.
It's weird that they had the sign of what this place is on like whatever that cart was outside.
Look, it's Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Oh. Could be
Could
guys
be guys
behind
behind
that wall.
the wall.
I'm sorry, Dan, what'd you say?
I was saying exactly what Jason just said.
Oh.
I also thought that was really funny.
We can't get this beam off of him, even though it does not look heavy. Somebody get the Vaseline off the lens.
That's
Oh,
like when you're
no.
pretending to not be able to.
This is like the old-timey filter they used to put on women in like 40s and 50s movies.
Yeah, exactly. Or like TOS episodes. We get the
Yes.
fuzzy footage.
Yes, exactly.
What just happened? Wait, what?
Whoa.
Wait,
Whoa,
wait.
this is nuts.
that-
Why does he have
Why is
rocket legs?
Why is he Firestorm?
Yeah.
It's an X-Men cartoon. Hey, look, it's Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
Yeah.
So he's going to be this week's random one-off mutant with a goofy name no one will remember, right?
He's not supposed
Good
to be
one,
Sunspot,
Sam.
is he?
Oh, maybe it is Sunspot. I don't know.
Now I'm so ready for the over-the-top Southern accents. Let's go. Come on, Paige. What
See,
else do I have to do?
See, you can't be offended by some of these like blatantly stereotypical accents because they do them with everyone.
She just
Exactly.
called him Superman.
They are equal opportunity stereotyping.
And we're continuing the proud tradition in Marvel of haircuts being genetic.
Yes, that's true. Oh yeah, that guy might as well just be Norman Osborn.
John Byrne would reveal that these people are related to J. Jonah Jameson. This
That's
guy could be
true.
Norman Osborn.
But that guy looks like Norman Osborn
Yeah.
if he was like a thug.
And didn't have his like cornrows haircut thing.
Yeah, with the lines that stay the same no matter where his head goes.
See, I'm still waiting for that to be adapted. I need that.
We need it. I still want it adapted in live action, where whenever
Exactly.
in live action you move
That's
your
what I'm
head, but
saying.
we've CG'd it so that the lines stay. It'd be so good.
That would be the best. If Zack Snyder made a Spider-Man movie, it would do stuff that would be that insane. Like CGI, like make someone wear a CGI head cap.
You know, I'm kind of for it.
Me too, at this point, you know?
You can't make it worse. You might as well just go to the nines with it.
Exactly. Oh my god, this rogue design is so different.
Oh, what's happening?
She's got this unfortunate facial expression. And her hair looks like ice cream.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah, No, don't.
So what this feels like
He's playing pool wrong.
is that the creators of the show begged and pleaded for another season. And they were like, okay, you can have, sort of like Roddenberry with season 3 Star Trek. Okay, you can have another season, but we're going to put it on a really crappy time slot, and we're going to give you like a quarter of the budget. Except what really happened was they didn't even want to make any more, and they made them make more.
Oh,
It's so weird. This doesn't look like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Why insist on another season but slash the budget? Also, this is how simplified the character models have gotten. Beast still is blue and hairy, but he's got a regular man's face. It's not even a monster face. It's just like a square, regular face. But it's blue. Oh, it's the darndest thing.
Look at that guy's beard.
Look, Jason, he's a lumberjack, and he's okay.
No, but like that guy's mouth was so much bigger than the rest of his head.
Okay, so this is not going to be the Mr. Sinister origin. That comes later.
I think this guy behind the counter may be related to the family we saw earlier.
The guy with the beard looks like he's got a wood-burning stove in his stomach.
I know. I know.
And look at your diner, Dan!
Oh, it's a Punisher fan.
There's a Punisher fan in your diner. Did you see that, Dan? It's called Dan's Diner.
Oh, I didn't.
Whoa. Don't call your girlfriend private stock. That's terrible.
You know he's edgy because he has a glove for some reason on one hand.
Also, I feel like if you live in the same world as the Punisher, it's a bad idea to go around wearing a Punisher shirt.
You might get killed.
It's the ice cream lady. So what we know about Dan now is that Dan has a diner and everyone has feelings except for Dan. That's what we know about Dan.
That's why the customer service is so good.
Why is Rogue wearing long sleeve or short sleeves?
I don't know.
That's not. Why is she doing that?
That's your biggest issue with this episode?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Because I think it's weird that she would go around with an alias calling herself Miss LeBeau because she's still not actually dating Gambit. I don't know. I just think it's weird that she would do that.
This guy has an 8 head. Dang. His forehead is huge. He looks like Boris Karloff as Frankenstein or something.
Yeah, or a drug PSA commercial.
Yeah.
And his ears, dude.
Well, that's why you have
The
to
back
stay
of
off
his
the drugs,
head.
man, because that's what happens to you.
He kind of looks like a Todd McFarlane drawing. I feel like I've seen him draw people like that.
You're right. He absolutely does. Okay, I know we're just talking about superficial stuff on the screen, but what else are we supposed to talk about right now? This episode is boring.
It is, yeah.
It's another one of those episodes that's trying to have a lot of intrigue, and it's not intriguing.
Well, I mean, I kind of like what they're trying to do with Rogue, but like it's not even barely Rogue, so like it doesn't really work.
I mean, it's nice that she has an episode, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
She's a mutant. You remember when we hated and feared them, and that was like a big problem?
This score is hilarious, too.
Dun dun. Ooh, da 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 da.
Where's
Okay, I
Thunderbolt
want to look
Ross?
at Beast here. Why does he look like that?
Why does Gambit carry a stick around when they're just at home?
I was thinking the same thing.
He just spins it around occasionally.
I love the buttons on this computer. Like, each one is the size of Beast's hand.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
Okay, so you know how I'm wearing fingerless gloves all the time now? I want to get Gambit gloves, where some of them are fingerless and some of them are
The
not.
middle
like,
ones are fingers.
Yeah, I need to get those. That's cool.
That's cool.
I
That
guess
is
I
cool.
could make them myself by buying a glove and cutting a couple of
I
fingers.
really want to be Gambit for Halloween at some point.
I wanted that sentence to end there.
I want to be Gambit.
Gambit's an awesome character. See, the
Dan,
X-Men...
besides
sorry.
Magneto, who's your favorite X-Men villain?
Let's see. I do like Stryker, the guy from God Loves Man Kills, a lot. He's awesome.
Juggernaut.
I just read
Juggernaut's
that.
cool. I like Apocalypse too.
I just read that a few months ago, and I want to do a review on it. I just haven't gotten around to it. But
And I mean,
we should talk about that at some point, Dan. That's a
I'd
great
love
book.
to.
Okay, would you help me remember that I said that to Dan, that we need to do God Loves Man Kills? Because
does Archangel count?
yeah, that
Yeah, that counts.
Or is that like
I'd
a?
say.
Yeah.
he's a sometimes villain.
It's
I like
true.
him. He's really good in the show. I don't care what anyone says.
I like Emma Frost a lot too. She's one of my favorite X-Men characters, but she's
Why?
reformed now.
Oh, yeah, I remember that about you, Dan.
Yeah, Emma's the best.
It's sad what we did with her in First Class, because I like First Class, but
Yeah, no, she's very like throwaway in that movie. And the actress is like not great as her in that either.
she's just the wrong choice. And I like that actress, but she's wrong for it.
Yeah, she like looks the part, but like I don't think she like fits the type in the way that she plays it.
She's not calculating enough.
No, and she doesn't seem as like supremely confident as Emma
That's
is.
it.
You know?
Yep. No, that's a character that's always 19 steps ahead and is real sure of herself. And
Exactly.
like, yeah, she can be a seductress, so that that actress has the body type and the face for it, but the attitude is all wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Who laughs like that?
I hate your kind. Remind me, did they do like the Hellfire Club stuff when they did Dark Phoenix in
They
this?
sure did.
That's awesome.
It's great.
Which is so weird because in the comics it's like a sex cult.
Yeah. I know.
I really, if it weren't for the fact that Spider-Man adapted the Punisher, I really want this kid to just be their Punisher.
That would be awesome.
AMC. Okay, so AMC, I'm sorry, you're just wrong, buddy. Okay, so I have a confession to make. I know everybody rags on the season 5 animation, but I kind of like it in some ways better than the iconic one.
That's fair.
I mean, you do you, man. I just think it's real cheap and phoned in because it is, but
It's not its own thing. Like, it looks like every other TV show.
yeah, I mean, maybe he just likes that style. Why are you taking his hair from the top? Oh, I see.
Oh, you know who
Yeah.
this kid is?
Is he a robot?
We're dummies. This is Cannonball, the New Mutants character.
Oh,
So I guess that's a thing.
he's not a throwaway mutant.
Well, it depends on how much you like the New
Okay,
Mutants. No, I'm
he's
just
not
kidding.
as he's not as throwaway as I thought he was.
No,
There
no,
you
I'm
go.
just kidding.
There you go.
I haven't read a ton of New Mutants. I think he's probably a well-liked character because he's one of the original lineup characters. But
Yeah, I've read very little New Mutants. I think I did a review on something years ago.
That was
but-
funny.
What's that?
Beast line there.
What do you say?
He put them to sleep faster than an economics class.
He made it funny.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not laughing, but like,
Whoa, what was that
it was
face?
a very Beast line.
Sam. See, in the South, we find ways to make one-syllable words 3-syllable words. He's got to get to the chopper.
oh my god.
I feel like there's places where even the dialogue... This isn't going to make sense, but there's places where even the dialogue sounds cheaper.
I know.
Where, like,
Yeah.
it's the same actors, but they don't sound right.
No.
AMC, my other favorite X-Men villains, besides Magneto, are Juggernaut, Apocalypse, Quicksilver, and Sabretooth. Yeah, and people don't think of Quicksilver as a villain anymore, but he certainly starts off that way.
Yeah, I think of him more as like, mainstream, member of the Avengers during that like classic '70s era,
Yeah.
because he's like a big part of all that stuff. But Sabretooth's a great villain too. I've been reading a lot of Solo Wolverine lately, so I do like Sabretooth as well. He's a cool character.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've been on a Wolverine kick.
I know. He's one of those characters that I've always really liked in the X-Men stuff, obviously, but hadn't like dove like a ton into the Solo stuff, but it's cool stuff.
It's so sad. You've got the whole team there, and that should have been a money shot, but it just looked like a coloring book page.
Yep. And they're just like retreating.
And some
why are you
of the
backing up?
coloring is wrong. Did you see the reversed black and yellow on Wolverine's belt?
Yeah.
Wow,
Again,
his
this guy
belt was
looks
wrong
like-
in that photo.
Yeah. This guy is he is the Red Skull of this episode.
The
It looks like it's from a different
president.
show.
I'm sorry, Dan, what were you saying?
This kid is from a different show. Like, he's the Red Skull design of this episode.
Yeah. Well, no, he's not. You know what show he's from? He's also from Magic School Bus.
Yeah.
He is.
He's with the president.
Run, Cannonball, run.
Are the X-Men your favorite superhero team?
Mine?
Either of you?
Probably.
You know, I was never a big team guy, so I think by default, yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely my favorite. I'm not a big team book guy either, besides the X-Men.
The X-Men's one of those things, sort of like zombies, that took me a long time to realize I was a fan of.
That's awesome.
Oh, I keep looking at these X-Men things, I guess I'm a fan of this. But I never really thought of myself that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a long time it was like, I like Wolverine. But, yeah. So, like, I don't know as much as I want to, but I certainly like the aesthetic and tone of X-Men more than anything.
Well, yeah. I mean, the best run of it is like,
Yeah.
18 years long, so it's like, a little inaccessible to a degree.
Yeah, and Claremont is sometimes a little bit impenetrable for me, I have to say.
That's fair.
Where, like, his writing is just a little wordy.
It's very wordy, definitely.
And, like, I think he's an incredible world builder, and he's incredible at developing characters.
What's happening?
Yeah,
Who's
what
this?
is this?
But I almost think I would be a bigger fan of his work if he was writing novels instead of comics.
Yeah, I could see that.
When I'm reading a comic book, I don't want a page to take 5 minutes to read. I just don't.
Wait,
No, that's fair.
Who is
I have
that
a tough
supposed
time
to
with
be?
that. This is a visual medium. I should not be staring at these panels for this long. Like, I don't like it.
No, I get you. His stuff he is one of the wordiest comic writers that I've read the work of. I like his stuff, but I can understand that for sure.
And that's just a taste thing.
Yeah, no, totally.
It was more the convention when I was a kid, and so it was easier to deal with. But comics have gotten in the modern day so much more like cinematic, and we read it more of a clip that I've gotten kind of spoiled by that.
No, exactly.
Everybody in the and even before the bad animation, everybody in the show talks with their whole body.
They really do.
Xavier is in a wheelchair, and he's just... Okay, can you explain something to me? Didn't
Yes.
Xavier get his legs back?
No.
No?
No.
Wasn't he on 2 legs at the end of the big 4th season?
No.
Epic? Was he not?
No, he was.
I thought he was standing on 2 legs.
No, he's flying
Oh.
because he was trapped and they had.
No, but that very last scene, I thought he was standing on 2 legs.
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm so confused about that.
There's also stuff from different time periods and stuff.
Good job, Saban. You made Power Rangers in 4 good seasons of this show.
Well, like
It is
12 good seasons of Power Rangers.
Well, I didn't say all Power Rangers. I said Power Rangers and 4 good seasons of this show.
Yeah, but it's not like all of Saban Power Rangers is good.
No, because Turbo's got awful.
Yeah, and then the Neo Saban stuff is terrible.
Yeah.
So
Well, Dan, have you got to hit the hay, sir?
I do, yeah, because I got work
do you have
tomorrow.
to fall off an airplane and
Yeah.
land on?
Hey, Dan, come back and do some of this nonsense with us again, or something like this.
I'd love to. If you guys ever want to do, I would love to watch like the Hulk show with you guys or something like that, because that was one of my favorite ones that I've went back to even more often than this show because I had like the VHSs back in the day, and I love the Hulk in general. So that would be fun. We should do it.
Yeah. Well, and there's still some 90s Spider-Man we haven't done.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Austin and I keep going in and out of that. Every time they put out a crappy Sony movie, we do a run of episodes that have to do with that. So we did, when Madam Web came out, we did 3 Madam Web episodes in a row that featured exactly 45 seconds of Madam Web.
That's awesome. Dude, I can't wait to see that movie. I'm actually really excited to watch it when it is rentable on streaming.
Oh my God! Just wait, man.
Did you see it?
You sure about that?
Oh yeah, and then watch,
Oh,
and then watch our review, because I'm very proud of that review.
Me too. Yeah.
That's awesome. No, I'm really excited. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that universe moving forward. Because I don't know. I don't think Venom 3 is going to make as much money as even the last one.
No, there's no way. There's no way. They called it The Last Dance.
I know. I heard about that.
What are they doing? You
Dude.
gotta love that Sony put the word dance in a movie title.
Those Venom movies are the strangest pieces of something. I don't know, cinema is the wrong word, but also product isn't the right word. It's very strange because Tom Hardy seems to be putting effort into them, but his performance is insane and the scripts are so bad.
And you can't even understand why they're making them.
I know.
I'm convinced that Tom Hardy got the same spiel that the girl from Madam Web got, where he thought he was making an MCU movie.
Yeah, all of them
I'm
seem to
positive
believe that they're
about
in the
that.
same universe. They're asked in interviews, they're yeah, I'm so excited. It's man, Sony is a scam company.
There's
so
no
funny.
way he knew what he was signing up for.
Well, the thing that really gets me is it's the Sony as a studio has to like maintain positive relationships with these movie stars to get them to be in their movies, right? Like if you lie to like half of Hollywood to like get them in your like low rent Spider-Man movies, like no one's gonna want to work with you again.
Yeah, and I think the only reason that they haven't gotten that reputation until just now with Madam Web is because the Venom movies made money.
That's
and
true.
so Tom Hardy's not going to go around trashing them. He's making money.
That's true. And Morbius is its own animal, and Jared Leto's just a really weird guy, so.
Yeah, so he probably doesn't even understand that the thing he made is awful and insane. He was probably with Sony when they thought that the meme thing meant people liked it and they should put it back in the theater.
Dude, I love watching like the videos like pre-Morbius when they were hyping it, and like Jared Leto's like, this is one of the most legendary Marvel characters. It's a new legend. And I was just like, even Spider-Man fans don't consider Morbius to be like an A tier like Spider-Man villain. It's very weird.
No. And I've always said you could make a good standalone Morbius movie. I don't know why you would before like 45 other characters, but like you could. But saying you could make a good Morbius movie is like saying you could make a good Silver Sable movie. I don't know why the hell you do it.
Yeah, exactly.
But you could.
At least with Morbius, like you do have the vampire thing. So like that's something that people are inherently interested in as like a subgenre of horror. Like that, I could see like some Hollywood executive that doesn't understand the characters be like, hey, isn't that one a vampire? The kids like vampires. Have you seen Twilight? You know, like you can understand the logic behind, that calculus. But even like Craven, dude, like that movie looks insane. I can't wait.
Well, and it's that you can make anything work thing, right? Because we're saying all of this stuff retroactively. So if Blade had come out and had been the worst thing ever, we would all be going, why would you adapt that? It's this random one-off, like, or it's this random like D-list Marvel character nobody cares about. Yeah. But those movies are good, so we praise them for taking an obscure character and making him mainstream. Same thing with Guardians. If Guardians had turned out like, I don't know, I guess some people like Shang-Chi. I was gonna say like one of the not as good kind of C-list like She-Hulk. That had turned out like She-Hulk.
Yeah, exactly. I guess the thing that I can kind of understand with characters like Blade is like, Tomb of Dracula was a really popular like Marvel comic for a long time in the 70s. Like that has fans,
Yeah,
like
sure.
I don't know anyone that's like a Morbius guy. You know what I mean? Like I just don't think those people exist. It's just it's funny.
Yeah, and even Guardians had the Abnett and Lanning base like that.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean that you had a built-in fan base that would give you like dollars, but it means that it appealed to some group, so it might appeal to a larger group.
Exactly. Yeah, and like you can understand Venom, the calculus there. Like there are Venom guys. Like you like love Venom. Like that's one of your favorite like characters, just like on a design level. So you can understand like that would make sense to make a movie like disconnected from Spider-Man and with the insane like comedy tone that it has. I don't know about that, but like
yeah, no, it's bizarre making it before he's in a Spider-Man movie and not at all related to Spider-Man in his origin. Venom. So writer in the comments says Avi Arad was right, and I have made fun of that forever. When that movie comes out, makes $1 billion, and then Avi Arad is kind of laughing all the way to the bank. When we laughed at him for a long time for saying like Venom is Marvel's most popular character, but it's all visual, just like Spawn, which means the only reason Venom made $1 billion is because of Todd McFarlane.
Yeah, exactly. It's
the only reason. You have to give McFarlane exactly all of the credit for that, because it's all just about the design. That's it. Nobody, nobody likes that guy as a human character.
No, like I think the stories
not back then.
Yeah, the stories where Venom shows up initially with David Michelinie writing, like I think those issues are great, but like there's no like solo Venom material besides the recent like Donny Cates stuff with Eddie Brock,
and that's all after this.
Yeah, it's like that's great,
Yeah.
Like everything in the 90s is just dumb.
And you and I have reviewed some of that. It took 3 decades to turn Eddie Brock into a cool character.
Exactly, yeah.
And even if those had come out before this, I guarantee you that movie's not looking at it.
Nope. No, it's not looking at really anything besides Lethal Protector, I think.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
Let's take the first thing that's got Venom's name on it by itself. Here's this really dated art first driven book. Okay.
About like hobos living underground in like a advanced society or whatever the hell was going on in that book.
Yeah, in 2017, 2018, whenever that movie comes out, isn't the obvious thing to do if you're going to do a solo Venom movie? Wouldn't you take the risk and make it a military thing, make it Agent Venom? Like that's the thing to do, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, me personally, my favorite take on the character of Venom in general is the Agent Venom, like Flash Thompson stuff, because I love Flash Thompson as a supporting character in the Spider-Man books going back to the 60s. Like,
yeah,
I've been invested in that character and like seeing how his and Peter's relationship has changed and grown over time. So putting like a character that is interesting in that suit, like for me was awesome, And Remender did some like classic Spider-Man type stories in that book that were like way better than what was being done in the actual Spider-Man book at the time, so it was a good time.
Yeah, it's just, it would be weird to make a solo like Agent Venom movie again that has nothing to do with Spider-Man, but it makes more sense than doing an Eddie Brock movie. And the thing is, you can do a conceit with Venom symbiotes, right? Where you could almost make it an anthology thing where every movie it takes over a different person or somebody else has a symbiote. Like there's
well, that's kind of what they're doing with the villains, right?
That is what they're doing with the villains. That's true. But I mean, Venom can be kind of like a Quantum Leap concept where you just, keep jumping around with it.
I can't believe that the villain of the third one is just going to be another Venom that's a different color. That's going to be so awesome.
Okay, when you say you can't believe that, I don't know why you're not just expecting that. What would have shocked me is if they did anything else. Literally anything else.
You would think like the filmmakers, for sake of variety, like they'd just like want to do something different rather than just like doing gray Venom and red Venom and now gray and red Venom.
See, where I knew we had no hope is when the first movie had a Carnage design and the second movie has Carnage.
Oh my god, dude.
Well, Carnage, air quotes.
How long do you think the second one's going to be? You think it'll be like an hour 15 this time?
You mean the third one? Yeah.
Yeah. Like just gutted to the bone.
No, it'll be shorter than a 2-episode arc of something. Yeah. Okay, well we got to watch the next episode.
All right, sorry. Well, it was good talking to you guys.
You're fine,
I hope
man.
you guys have a good night.
Dan, come back soon. I missed you, man.
No,
my big
definitely,
takeaway from this is this season is as bad as everybody said it was. And also,
Yes.
I miss hanging out with Dan. Those are my takeaways.
I miss you guys too. Let's definitely like talk after this and try to set something up again soon. That'd be really fun.
I hope we can.
Yeah.
Everybody, die. I can't talk. Buy Dan's comic.
Oh yeah, please support it if you're interested and you can. I would really appreciate it. That would be great.
Link in the description. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, now we're gonna delete Dan. There we go. He's gone. Okay, we've deleted Dan.
You deleted Dan.
So yeah, usually we just put us, full screen, but I think I'm just gonna leave it like this so that we can still, show Dan's comic up here, and we'll just make us a little bit bigger and block out some of Cyclops' head. But now you get some of Rogue's body and Jubilee's body. There we go. Okay, Jayson, you think we can manage the rest of this? I think we've just got two more left.
Yeah.
Can you do it? You gonna be okay? Okay, guys, we're gonna watch 2 more episodes of X-Men. It's Descent, and then we'll watch the last episode, and then we'll all be ready for X-Men 97. Jayson, do you want to just do a how we felt about thing on that, or do you want to do a reaction stream?
I think
I kind of think I want to watch it clean and not do a reaction stream.
Yeah, I think I kind of want to watch it clean.
Well, we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Okay, here we go. Sorry for the long discussion between episodes, guys, but it was a lot of fun hanging out with Dan. Timestamp 0, get ready to press play when we say now. It's Descent, which is a bad TNG episode. We'll see if it's a better X-Men episode. Everybody, please press play right now. You notice we have not had previously on X-Men one time
Yeah,
in these
because
episodes.
there's nothing to show. Like, nothing has happened.
Writer says apparently Orwell Taylor is the villain in Venom 3. Whoever that is. Yeah, I don't know who that is. Some guy.
I wish they would just do, like, Agent Venom or, like, something.
Yeah, it'd be kind of fun if the villain was a good guy.
Yeah.
Since Venom is not exactly a good guy. Again, Vaseline on the lens. Okay, so this is going to be the Sinister Origin, I think. Because we only got 2 episodes, and I know that's not the last episode, so surely that's what this is. See, we're in Europe a lot.
Yeah, sure.
The fog!
Exactly.
Whoa, my god.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's Sinister, right?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Is that what we're doing? Are we saying that Mr. Sinister was Jack the Ripper? I don't think I've ever seen this. Somebody earlier was surprised that I think it was Anime Fan was surprised that I hadn't seen this whole show. Jayson and I watched all the way through 4, and I was spotty before that. There were some episodes I hadn't seen, and I never got around to finishing this and doing 5. Oh my god. This is amazing. Okay, so this is really degenerated into a Saturday morning cartoon show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. So we're saying that Professor X had an ancestor who stopped Jack the Ripper. Or tried to, who was Mr. Sinister, who was Nathaniel Essex. This is amazing. And of course he looks and sounds just like him, but he has a big beard.
Right.
Can you think of another show that has this problem, where it finishes, has a real good ending, and then jumps the shark when they make more episodes they shouldn't have made?
Yeah.
You know, maybe some revival shows have that problem. This isn't a revival. It came back the very next year. Lord Grey. Okay, so everyone, all of the X-Men were destined to come together because their ancestors were all interconnected before that. I hate this kind of thing.
Yeah, why is this...
This is
the worst...
friggin' Smallville crap.
Yeah, this is the worst way to do this. Like, the worst way.
Sue really says, for a moment, I thought Xavier had an ancestor who was also in a wheelchair. This is painful. I think you need that suit.
Yeah.
Oh my god. This is all very on the nose. So it's X-Men, we're dealing with natural selection, so... did he just say natural selection as I would say natural selection?
Yes.
That's amazing. So naturally, we have to put Darwin in our flashback episode.
Yes.
Now, do we have mutants this far back? I mean, I know Wolverine is almost this old. Like, I wonder if in these flashbacks we're going to have actual mutants, because I don't think Sinister is supposed to be a mutant. I don't think. I think he does... I don't know a lot about Sinister. I've always loved his design, but I don't know him as well as I want to. But I think he is like a genetic scientist who does, you know, insane experiments and, like, makes himself all crazy looking. But somebody tell me if I'm wrong about that. Is Sinister himself a mutant? I don't actually even know that. I feel like I should know that. writer says Darwin was a mutant. Is this going to say Darwin is a mutant? And Super really says super pronounced eyebrows run in the Xavier family, as does the voice.
Yeah.
I like how you just slumped over when he said that. He looks like he's gonna fall down. I can't take any of this seriously, Jason.
No.
And not in the way that I usually can't take the show seriously. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
The charm is kind of gone.
Yeah.
Okay, nobody's told me this yet. I have to look this up because I feel like a fake X-Men fan. Is Mr. Sinister a mutant? I can't figure this out very quickly. Immortal Victorian scientist and mutant obsessive. Uses experience and genetics to create the perfect mutant race. That's what I thought. So maybe he's not a mutant at all. Sinister was not a born mutant until his initial alliance with Apocalypse. He had no superhuman powers. Okay, so I had this about right. I like how nobody in the comments told me, because I'm wondering if none of us know what Sinister is. I'm sorry, what did I miss, Jason?
Oh, I can't tell you.
Is it a secret?
No, I actually, don't know what's happening.
Oh, it looks like they're about to play Quidditch.
No, they're going to a carnival. Oh, now they're going to the zoo?
That's not the zoo. That's the Essex House. Or something. Cool, I was right. Super Billy finally told me what Mr. Sinister is. I second guessed it for a minute. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna look like an idiot if I say Mr. Sinister's not a mutant and he actually is. See, these are the things I have to know to have any street cred for what I do, Jason. My life is weird.
Yeah.
It's very important that I know what Mr. Sinister is.
Man, this animation looks terrible.
Oh, it's rough.
I'm having a hard time even looking at this.
I just can't wait to watch him turn himself into Sinister.
Yeah.
So we're doing a clear, Jekyll Hyde thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is neither here nor there, but have you actually read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein yet?
I started it
Did you?
at one point, but no. I have too many books.
Have you read Jekyll and Hyde?
I not.
You should do that.
Yeah.
Okay, try to make sure you're in the microphone here. Super Billy, I was half right. I remembered his association with Apocalypse, but I forgot Apocalypse was the one who bestowed Sinister with mutant powers. Yeah, I didn't know that either. But that's why they're allied in that two-parter or that four-parter we watched today. Don't you wish that's what we were doing right now?
Mm-hmm.
These faces are all so stereotyped. Everybody's got a big handlebar mustache. And you
Yeah.
gotta have the obligatory man with a monocle. That was a commercial break. Every kid is coming back after that.
Yeah.
Exposition. And I just don't know how satisfying this is, to finally get the answer to all these mysteries with Sinister, because he's so well handled and mysterious and creepy and stuff before this, and then you get this kind of jump the shark episode in this awful animation style.
Yeah, I mean, this
To
isn't
finally
even an
know where he
X-Men
comes
episode.
from.
Like,
I forget what we had at the beginning of this. Is there even a framing device for this, or did we start? We started here, right?
we did.
We start in the
here.
1800s.
Yeah.
Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Why is he Tony Stark?
Why do people laugh like that in this? They're just like, oh, yeah.
They gotta shake their whole body.
Yeah.
See, you know he's becoming a crazed lunatic because his hair is out of place in exactly 2 places.
Yes. And now it's not.
His laboratory looks like it's out of a Mickey Mouse episode. Okay, but if you had a goatee like that, that's how you would stroke it.
Yeah.
Super Billy, right now, Sinister is just Tombstone sans white hair. Oh, he is. Look at that. See, we're seeing it happen. This is the crucial moment. And then you got to ask yourself the question, especially...
Why does this exist?
Yes, especially because there's no framing device. Why is this in the sequence where it is? Why is the second to last episode of the show? Okay, we'll finally tell you how Sinister got his powers.
People really want to know.
Okay, you know what this feels like? This feels like a tie-in all-ages comic. Right?
All ages.
This feels like an all-ages comic. Where you'd have your X-Men animated series tie-in series. Except the art is like way worse than the show. Where very often those books would, look more or less like the show. But they'd give you some like really cheap background story for a character. This doesn't even feel like it should be canon.
Yeah.
And like, maybe I'm okay with, and I don't know what it is in the comics. Maybe I'm okay with this on paper. Like, he's a scientist from the 1850s. He is experimenting with Darwin's theories and stuff. Like, yeah, that's all fine. Oh, see, that's also very small build.
Yeah, they've already done that twice before that.
They just
line.
keep saying the word Sinister?
Yeah.
They can't stop doing
They
it?
can't stop doing it. It's really... But the way that he said it made it even worse, because he took a break before he said Sinister.
So, Super Billy, we read an article at the beginning of the show tonight about why the animation looks so much worse this part of the season. And it's not even the whole season, it's just these last 5-6 episodes. And so, there's a couple of big reasons for it, where they had less money, and they had to go with a different animation house. And there were some intercompany politics that made it happen. See, now he's got the glasses, Jason.
Yeah.
I don't need all this. And what's annoying is, you could do this for several characters.
Yeah.
Where you have the obligatory standalone episode where we see a character, like, slowly get all their accoutrement.
Yeah.
I'm kind of mad. I don't want to watch this episode anymore.
It's so boring. Like, nothing's even happening.
Also, the sound effects are even kind of weird in this part of the season. Like, his eyes went green, and it sounded like a lawnmower starting up.
I don't know about this soundtrack.
I do. It sucks.
Oh.
Again, it's just weird how much this looks like a show on its last legs when the studio asked them to make more episodes and they were ready to be done. You know what I'm going to suggest?
Remember the X-Men theme?
You know what I'm going to suggest people do? I think maybe you should watch all of 4 up to the big 4-part epic finale, and then watch 5, and then go back and watch that. Just so you get to end off on the real cool. Maybe not, though. Maybe you should just skip the season entirely.
Yeah, maybe just don't even watch it.
I mean, the Phalanx 2-parter's okay.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember some of the episodes before that. A couple of those I might not have actually seen.
Yeah.
We were gonna watch the first 5 tonight instead, but I wasn't sure if we would have time to watch the other 5 before 97 comes out. And the whole point of this was just to get, the last episode before 97 comes out, because they keep advertising with it.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
Okay, we'll see you later. Are you really gonna stick me with this?
Yes.
Whoa, wait, how much of this episode is left? Like 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Okay. All right, we'll see you in a minute, Jayson. I'm gonna get him back for this. Yeah, but you had Dan. That's not fair. Oh man, look, they're hating and fearing him. No, that's Ivan Ooze. Ivan Ooze is a monster. Okay, so we do have mutants. See, this kind of thing always undercuts your present day characters. So so Xavier has to have an ancestor, like a great-great-grandfather or whatever, who has exactly his point of view and stands up for the same principles. And sure, maybe part of the reason that you feel the way you feel about things is because of the way you're raised, and maybe his whole family kind of passes this philosophy down. But it's too easy and on the nose that it's exactly the same situation. That it's just mutants again. It's fine to do a mutant story in the 1850s and maybe have somebody else that has that philosophy that's standing up for the same things. But really, it's Xavier again? Okay. Your mother says, I thought this was a countdown to the new season. Got super excited. Checked the date. Was amazed someone was going to stream 3 straight days. Then I learned how to read. Wildest 20 seconds of my life. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. That would be nuts. We're just watching the last 5 episodes tonight of Season 5. What is smart about doing this is that whatever that new season is will probably look great compared to these. And I'm hoping that we're at least helping to maybe educate a few people that this show does not end great, and that it doesn't even have the same animation quality as what came before it. This 5th season is a total mulligan. Oh yeah, they're calling them new men instead of mutants at this period. And I think that might be comic book. That might be a Claremont thing. I'm not sure. Oh, now he's already got the voice. I always like the modulation thing we do with Sinister's voice, where he kind of sounds like he's talking into a tin can. You shall address me as Mr. Sinister, because everybody keeps saying the word sinister around me, and it's just really stuck with me. And this is the origin of Sinister's creepy laugh. Okay, and then we jump to Xavier, so... So you don't have a framing device from the beginning,
But there is one.
but we're at least. But what is the point of that? It still doesn't give you any sense of why now, of like why we're dealing with this at this point in the sequence. Wow. Okay. So all I really got out of that is
Nothing.
Xavier had an ancestor that dealt with the precise exact issues that Xavier dealt with. Which, like I said a minute ago while you were upstairs, Jayson, I think really kind of undercuts that character.
Yeah.
They don't do that. It's kind of fun to do something with Darwin where it's like mutants have already happened, and so, like, Darwin's theories were correct, but it's... But, like, the species is evolving even faster than he thought.
Yeah.
And maybe somewhat differently because, like, different portions of the population are leaping ahead quicker. Super Billy and the origin of his ridiculous outfit. Yes, that's right. Super Billy, that being said, I don't care for the animation style in the upcoming X-Men 97 series. Yeah, we don't either.
Yeah.
The models look on point. I just don't like the way it moves.
Yeah. It's better than this.
Yeah. It just looks too much like Flash animation or something.
Yeah.
Scott Simmons, hi. Hello. Good to see you. That is a name I don't recognize. Rogue is my favorite X-Men character. I can't recall when I last saw this cartoon. And Jayson has been watching this since, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
You were doing a father and son on this?
Yeah, like, I watched select episodes of it before that, but...
Jayson, we have one more episode to do.
Cool. Is it, like, an actual, like, ending, or is it just, like, a random episode?
No, this gets an ending.
Okay.
Because, again, they've been using it in the advertising for the new show. I can't remember if something happens with him, or...
I don't remember.
But anyway, okay, give me just a minute.
Okay.
I gotta run off for a second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Chat with the peoples,
Sure.
and I'll be right back.
Yeah.
And then everybody just get the last one rigged up. It's episode 10. It's graduation day, and then we will graduate from this stream. I'll be right back.
Okay, see you later. Yeah, that episode sucked. Yeah, like I said before, what was even the point of that? There was no, like, and I didn't even think Mr. Sinister was that cool of a character. Like, it was, you know, he's cool, but he's not as cool as, you know, Apocalypse or Magneto, and he just kind of felt like a little bit, I mean, he wasn't lame, but he was a little bit below those characters, and the stories that they told with him weren't as good as the stories that they told with the other characters. So that's just such a random character to go with, to do an origin for. Like, I don't care. Like, give me an X-Men episode. I don't know. Like, they're not even doing anything with the X-Men. Nothing has happened with any of the episodes we've watched. Like, all of the episodes feel like a waste of time, at least to me. And yeah, I feel like there's kind of a drop in writing. Like, that might just be me, but it's not just animation. Like, the writing kind of sucks too.
Okay, I'm back.
You are.
One more episode, Jayson. Let's see if it gets a great finale after it already got a great finale.
Yeah. See what they do.
Scott Simmons. Oh, I've been here before. I made the name change suggestion for the channel last year. Oh, sorry, man. I'm bad with names sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's not a name that pops up in a lot of live streams, so I did not remember your name. Now I feel bad. And he sounds like a superhero.
Yeah.
He sounds like an X-Men.
Yeah, he does.
In X-Men. He sounds like an X-Man.
He sounds like all of them.
Okay, we better get into this because I feel like Jason and I are both about to fall asleep.
I'm going to fall asleep during this episode.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
Can you do it?
Yeah, I can do it.
You want to do it? You're going to make me do it all by myself?
No, I can do it.
All right, here we go. Get a timestamp 0, and here we go. Everybody, please press play right now. Yeah, there was a part of me that thought that this episode or this intro was going to be even shorter.
Yeah.
that it was going to just go da da, and that was the whole intro.
That is cool. I like how they have like all
The editing
bunch of
is
different
good.
character. I mean, the theme sucks.
But what I always liked about the original intro was that it had all original, footage.
Yeah, sure.
So it looks like we're really going back to basics here. Oh, I read a synopsis of this. Because I don't think I had ever seen this, like I said. But yeah, this is Gyrick again, and we haven't dealt with Gyrick in forever.
That's cool.
I guess, but what has he been up to this whole time?
Well, let's see.
He looks like a completely different character.
He does.
He looks like a Tick character. You're just behind him in your floating chair? Why is Xavier right behind him?
He should be like in the crowd or something. No, the Morlocks.
The Morlocks. We gotta get cameos from everybody we can shove in here.
Yeah.
You know, this is already sort of... Oh my god. Beast looks terrible. You know what this is sort of reminding me of? The last episode of Enterprise. Think about it, because you've got your big multi-part finale that should have been the end of the show. And I realize this did a whole other season, but then you tack on right at the end a real rushed single episode finale. Yes, we got an Xavier scream.
Yes.
Ah! Okay, so wait, was it not already public knowledge that Xavier's a mutant?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay, okay. But the X-Men are a public force. Like, people have heard of them.
Yeah.
So they just don't know that Xavier is involved with them.
don't.
Okay. So it's like the movies where where like the school is secret. I just couldn't remember if it stayed that way the whole series until just now. That all seemed pretty forced and easy. He just pulls out a remote thing and proves that Xavier's a mutant. You're okay with it?
I'm
Does
fine with
that work all right?
That works all right.
I'm going to have to assume that it's recently developed technology.
Yeah.
Well, of course, Adam March had to pop up when I mentioned the last episode of Enterprise. Jubilee also looks totally different.
Well, put your glasses back on, and then you'll look like Jubilee again. But you just look like that kid. You just look like Wanda from Magic School Bus.
There's a lot of Magic School Bus this season.
All along.
These are the voyages. These are the voyages. Is the name of the episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this guy's back. This guy with the Masaka mask.
Yeah. Inhuman looking.
Now, this is a thing, of course, that we've dealt with going all the way back to the first season.
Mm-hmm.
And that first season dealt with more than the rest of the show. The idea that mutants whose mutation makes them look not human have to hide.
Yeah.
She's still saying that. 5 years in. Don't treat me like a kid. It is so weird. I know we've said this, but it's so weird to see these character models with, like, no lines on their face. And
Yeah.
some of this looks better than the season has been looking. Oh, we got Moira back.
Yeah, we got Moira back. This is cool.
It just feels like this came out of nowhere because we haven't been dealing with the social politics of mutants not being able to cohabitate with humans this whole time.
Yeah.
Like, until the Lilandra part, it almost feels like this would be a finale for your first season.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sunfire looks awful.
Yeah.
It's a bird. Oh, it's Magneto. Magneto! Well, he's gonna. I mean, he's Magneto.
Wait, why the heck is he... He doesn't even have, like, a microphone or anything.
I don't know if you know this. That's one of his powers. One of Magneto's powers is that he can just sound like he has a microphone. He can project his voice. That's pretty amazing. A couple of real Jack Kirby looking creatures there.
And then just
Out of nowhere.
sunglasses looking. Yeah.
What's weird is Xavier getting taken out is the big thing that causes the terrible Days of Future Past future. Like, we've dealt with that and we've stopped it from happening before, but now it just happens at a later date.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily a criticism, because that might be the point, is that, you know, kind of like a Terminator thing, where, like, maybe you can stave it off, but it's going to happen, and so you have that fate or not question. And I bet they'll deal with that in 97, because you've got Bishop there. Like, I kind of want somebody from the future to show up in this episode and be like, God, it's still happening. I mean, he's not dead yet, and I'm going to assume that he doesn't just get full-on killed off.
Look, it's Marv.
Yeah, when did we see him last? Was it, like...
Season 3.
3? Yeah. Because he had... Oh, that was a weird transition. We went from Morph's face to Magneto.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know if we'd seen him since then.
Mm-hmm.
Because who was it that was manipulating him? Was it Sinister? Or was it...
I can't remember.
There was a thing with Mystique, maybe?
I think it was Sinister.
It all runs together.
Yeah. It's the chances moving.
Yeah, Scott Simmons. I couldn't get it a 10. I had a tough time with that movie.
That's the
well, we get some infighting with Wolverine and Cyclops. It's been a while since we did that.
that's the movie where the logo, the letters all like flipped around. And
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah, it's a crazy time travel movie.
Oh.
They do a whole action scene, the whole like car chase thing, like backwards.
That's cool. I don't know about those sound effects.
No, that's what I'm saying. Even the sound effects have been off this season. AMC, Cap, Jayson, did you notice the different Gambit voice this season?
Yes,
I didn't, because everybody sounded a little off to me, even when they were actually the right voices. So I wasn't sure. Or not everybody, but certain performances just were odd.
Yeah. Well, Gambit was one of them. Gambit sounded off.
Sometimes it feels like every so often somebody has to say the name of the show. X-Men. This is thrilling, Jayson. But you can see how we can you can see how we can build on some of this with a new show.
What is happening?
Like, it seems like this episode is kind of somewhat artificially trying to establish a big new status quo as its ending. Because it's kind of interesting that the guy that would say the X-Men have no place in our new world, we know in '97 will then take over the X-Mansion.
Yeah.
It's like, how's all that gonna work?
Yeah.
Like, is he gonna try to treat the X-Men like the Brotherhood, or is he gonna try to find some balance between his and Xavier's philosophies?
Mm-hmm.
It just feels weird we're doing all of this like right now as the end of the show.
Yeah. It was very random.
I will say it does feel like the other way to do a big epic finale where you make it the big like social politics finale as opposed to the end of the world finale. Like those are the two places to go, right?
Which I guess is cool.
It's either the end of society as we know it, or like the the breaking down of mutants and humans being able to cohabitate.
Yeah.
Or it's reality is at stake.
Yeah. And then they both.
That's kind of cool. And the the Beyond Good and Evil, even in that title, is kind of saying, there's even a scarier thing beyond the bigotry of our people are better than your people, and that is a single dictator that decides he's God and wants to subjugate everybody. So like, there's always a more extreme version of bigotry, I guess, is the idea. Yeah, so see, the new show seems consistent with this, where Magneto's going to think about this differently if Xavier is gone. Although, if he thinks that Xavier is okay, if he thought that, then why was he using this still as an excuse to finally do the Genosha thing? And you know what I mean? Like, couldn't he have done that earlier? Am I wrong? It's a very personal question. Don't ask me that. AMC says Magneto's speech in this episode is sort of reminiscent of Fassbender's Days of Future Past speech. Yeah.
What?
Is it weird that Jean Grey finally has not flesh color in her costume? She's got like, this yellow running through her costume now.
It's a way better costume, I think.
Almost like they finally decided, okay, it does look like she's kind of half naked.
Mm-hmm, because it did.
Because it did look like that, yeah. Even when I was a kid, I was like, why does her bare leg have a pocket? Because that's what it looked like. It looked like she had flesh-colored pockets. Super Billy is Jean Grey's voice different as well. I didn't sound it to me, but I didn't catch Gambit, so to be fair, we're talking over this too. Why are your boots in my face?
We haven't had that much Storm.
Of the 5 episodes we watched tonight.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of episodes.
No, when we finally got her a couple episodes ago, I was like, her face looks the oddest in this.
It's not like
This
2
line.
of those 5 episodes actually happened, or at least, like, you know, in that time period.
That's true. No, good call, because one was just the stupid fairy tale story.
Yeah.
And the other one was almost entirely in 1850 something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam March, I was not aware of mutant like products. I'm apparently really I have not been educated about this. I'm so ignorant. By the way, hi Morph. And then he's supposed to be main cast for 97.
This is a good scene.
You think?
Yeah. Because, like, Morph has some of the best stuff in this.
Yeah, and it bookends it nicely because he's there from the beginning and then we think he's dead.
Yeah.
Storm, you look 20 years younger than you used to.
Yeah.
No, you're right. This is kind of nice. I couldn't remember if we full on killed him off or not. I
Well,
knew
that's
he
the
was
whole plot of
written out
the-
at the end, but I just couldn't remember if he was like actually dead or if it was like a coma or if he just went to space with Lilandra.
I'm a frog.
Yes, a frog. Wow, he looks like he's dying. I don't know how intentional that is, but just look how pale he is. No, he doesn't look
Yeah.
as pale in this shot as he did a minute ago.
Yeah, that's the problem with all of these. Every character is just like, it's really weird.
He's Zordon in the Power Rangers movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, this episode is an okay finale in a vacuum. It's just weird coming after the episodes we just watched.
Yeah. It's good after.
Here's my problem. As serialized as this show is, it feels like you want some build up with Gyrick before he does that.
Yeah.
This should not be a standalone episode. This needs to be the end of an arc.
Yeah.
And not just in the generic way that it's finishing off some, like, thematic ideas and subplots, like, throughout the show. Oh, Super Pilly said the same thing I did about Zordon. See, this is what I was saying, is that I figured there'd be some loophole thing. We're being kind of Rathacon Sorcerer Spock with this. Mm-hmm. We sort of preserved his Katra, right? And then there's the thumbnail. Is that it? Is that... Wow, that's depressing.
That is depressing.
That's how we ended this whole show, Jayson.
Wow, yeah.
So, honestly, we could have about just watched that in preparation for 97. You didn't really need to watch, anything else we did tonight. But I didn't know that. I wasn't sure what those last few episodes were.
Kind of crap.
Okay, but what do you think of the actual last episode?
That last episode was good. It wasn't as good as the actual, like, finale. That was supposed to be the finale, but it was good for being that, kind of, oh, this is, like, our actual last season. What do we do?
Yeah, I mean, what I like about it is that it's so much in the spirit of that first season. Mm-hmm. And that what's at stake is everything that has been at stake in the whole show.
Yeah.
Like with mutant-human relations and all of that. And I guess I like ending on such an uncertain note. Mm-hmm. Like, do you still wish the show had ended with the big 4-part finale?
Yes.
And that we didn't have this at all?
Well,
I'm a little mixed on it, because, like, I think I like where they leave it. I just think it's a little easy and forced to get there.
Well, I think if all you do is you, like, make that, like, a 5-parter or a 6-parter, and
could you have done them both?
Done them both in one episode, and have that scene as the last scene in that thing, and have,
just restructure it so that you have Xavier's life in the balance of the Apocalypse story somehow.
Right.
I mean, it wouldn't feel as... I get what they're doing, because that story isn't as relevant to Xavier's been trying to keep the peace and put the two species, for lack of a better word, together.
Just have Apocalypse go on. Like,
instead did it need to be Gyrich?
Yeah.
Like I said, that feels like the finale you would have if all you had was season 1.
Yeah.
Like, besides Lilandra and all that. Yeah, but that's just a way to preserve his spirit or whatever.
Yeah, we haven't had Gyrich in a while, so, like...
I honestly thought he was dead or something. I didn't even remember...
I didn't even remember...
what happened to him.
Yeah.
AMC, is it just me, or does the trailer for 97 seem to misunderstand the ending and implying Xavier died? Well, I mean, it makes me want to watch that trailer again, but I mean, like, he sort of does.
I mean,
he is gone.
He did, but it's more like...
I guess like Spock, they saved his Katra.
Yeah, or like Kendricks and Power Rangers Lost Galaxy.
Yeah. They've got a loophole so they can bring him back if they want to now.
If they really want to.
And they will.
Right. Well, I mean, it's...
I bet he'll be in a robot body. Of some kind. They'll do that. It would be really funny if he was just Zordon.
Yeah.
It was just a floating head. Well, anyway, everybody, thanks a lot for watching. We sure appreciate it. Jayson and I are going to come back shortly after 97 starts. Now, are they dropping the whole season, or is it episode by episode weekly? I don't even know that.
I'm not sure.
We'll have to look into that.
Yeah. I actually don't know.
But I feel half prepared to watch that show now.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta get this guy in bed. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. We sure appreciate it. I was Captain Logan. This was Jayson.
Yeah.
We had Dan earlier. We appreciate you guys. Bye, everybody.